evening and welcome everybody to the Southwest Florida TechNet. We're glad you could make it tonight. And now here's your host, Ian.
And thank you, John, for that amazing interruption, or whatever you want to call it. All right. All right, here we go. And it is working. And there's John on there, so it's working. Okay. All right, guys, tonight we're going to keep it a little light. I want to welcome everybody. This is the Southwest Florida TechNet, sponsored by the Southwest Florida Tech Team. And we are broadcasting live tonight from North Fort Myers. And Joseph, where are you at?
Alabama.
He's in Alabama. Yeah, we finally got rid of him. We told him to leave Florida.
What?
So anyway,
I think they have an income tax in Alabama.
And there you go. Yeah, there you go. So anyway, we're going to be, Joseph's on vacation, so luckily he's able to be with us tonight. That's going to be awesome. We don't have a big topic tonight. It's going to be an open line tonight. Let me turn this off. I don't know if you guys can hear that. That was my station. I was listening. It ended properly. Anyway, tonight I wanted to do something lighter. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with something funny, something fun. I don't normally do this on this TechNet because I find a lot of ham radio people are down to business. They're like, I don't know why that guy's making fun of anything. This is radio. It's serious. And I don't know. Sometimes you got to lighten up a little bit. I just got off of a 2.5-hour open line show where I said some stuff on the air that's probably going to get me in trouble later. So I come on here and, I want it to be fun. I want it to be exciting. So tonight we're going to start with the website of the week, which is a little weird. And I have two of them for you. So that's going to be fun. I thought it would be interesting to start with something just a little bit different, but just so you do know, tonight is Bring Your Own Topic night. And we will be getting to that right after this website of the day, which is going to go on for about 20-25 minutes. I'm going to show you guys how to use these two websites to make custom graphics and things. I showed you flaming text last week, and I'm going to show you two more this week that are really fun and cool for making your custom club graphics or whatever graphics you need to make. I know this isn't necessarily talking on the radio, but we got to do something different every now and then. So I'm going to do this for about 25 minutes, and then you guys bring the next topic, and that's how we're going to do it. Anyway, before I go any further, is there anyone that has any announcements or anything they would like to bring to the net before I go to the first topic? Okay, nothing heard. You got to do it like that. You got to do it all professional. Okay, nothing heard. Let's see here. The next thing we do is let's do the screen share. All right, so we're going to do Friday night open lines, and then after that, or during that, I want you guys to bring your topic. So if there's anything you're working on, you got Raspberry Pi, it's not working, Joseph's here. You've got anything that we've worked on here that's not working, we'll help you. If it's something we haven't worked on here, we'll see if we can help you. There's a lot of people in here that know a lot more about this stuff than I do. So we're going to find somebody to help you. And I have resources. We have Elmers. We have people we can put you in contact with if we can't help you here. So that's what it's all about. But the first thing I want to tell you guys about tonight is a really cool website. I thought this would be a little fun. One of the things I do is make graphics, and I actually make them for people. I generally don't charge because it's so easy for me. I just, I have like all these different resources and I know how to use them real quick and there they are. So tonight I'm going to share with you guys two of my industry secrets. The first one is called Funia. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's on the internet. Anyway, it's called Funia, I think is how it's pronounced. This allows you to take any picture or any words that you want and make stuff with them. Isn't this cool? So like if you were wanting to put up a post on Facebook, or you're wanting to put out an advertisement, or you're wanting to do something, you can make a really cool graphic that's custom to whatever you're doing. And I'm going to show you how to make this stuff. But before I do, we're going to go through some of it and show you some of the different things that you can do. Excuse me. The one on the left, just a photo cover, magazine cover maker. They've got about 10 or 20 that you can choose from. Really cool. The right one is just literally a mural on the side of the building there. And here's a couple more. It can be a banner out on the road. It'll even color it to make it look right. It's pretty cool. The one on the right there is been aged to look like it fits in the picture. All this is done automatically. I'm going to show you guys how to do this in just a few minutes. Look at this one. It's got the reflections in the glass. Isn't that cool?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, these are really advanced things, and it's been around for a little while. This is nothing new. But you can see there, you can make whatever kind of little fun graphic you want for your club or for your show or for your whatever you do. Just your call letters, maybe. That was a good one there, but the goats got it. Those darn goats, man. Come on with the goats.
Like
anyway,
kids.
they're like a bunch of kids. Anyway,
I can confirm.
And then you got the ones on the left there are pretty cool. All I did was I went in and I made the graphic, and then I just uploaded the picture in, and there it is.
I love how it does the reflections too. That's a really cool touch.
I know there's some really neat, if you look at the detail, it's all in the detail. That hotel on the right, yeah, it may or may not really exist.
Hmm.
Oh, look, they do Christmas. We're selling those Joseph Christmas ornaments on the right. We're selling those at Christmas for like 18 cents a piece.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want is me
I'll
staring
take
at
a
you.
dozen.
Yeah, I knew John would want some. I'll get you some of the TechNet ones too. They're really cool. All right, and the radio wish list. Look at that. Isn't that cool? You literally just type the stuff in and it makes it. It's so cool. So
Big, huge antenna.
and you probably think, well, I bet they do Christmas, but do they do Halloween? Well, yeah, they do Halloween. This is Halloween. Yeah. Thanks, Rick, for posing for that
Rick,
one.
the
I
one with
appreciate
Rick
that.
is really funny.
Look like something out of Star Wars.
Yeah, I figure you'll kick my ass later for that one.
The tech net. That's where all the ideas go to die.
He walked all the way out to the road so I could take that picture. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what you're doing in that middle one, Joseph. I just know it smells.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So, and these literally, I make each one in about 1 minute. There's no skill required here. It's perfect for all of us. And Easter, we do Easter too. And yeah, there you go. Yeah. And books, we do books. These are the 3 new books that have just come out now. We've got the Rick Black book, Ham Radio for Dummies. On page 1, it just says, "You're a dummy."
The one on the right looks like the thoughts of Chairman Mao.
Yeah, I know. That's a heavy book on the right. I wouldn't touch it. But anyway, yeah, some books there. And I don't know if you guys know, but our net is broadcast live in Times Square. And you can catch us there. And as you come on the show, you move up, and eventually you'll get to the top viewer there. So there you go. But yeah, just so you know, there you go. And I
can imagine.
And there, the Jumbotron, we have that too. So I just thought you guys would. There's your website if you guys want to write it down. We're going to go there right now, and I'm going to show you how to do this stuff. It's real easy. It's fun. It's Fotofunia, Fotofunia. I don't know why, for some reason, that's so foreign to me. Funya. I think it's like Funyuns. But anyway, so what I want to do is we're going to go to that website. Oh, you know what? Bless it. I didn't start the YouTube thing. Hold on. Let me just start.
No, it's going.
Is it? Oh, that's right. It did start. Okay. I'm just making sure because I don't see it here, but there it is. It's over there. Okay. Just making sure. Fotofunia. There. You just go to that and search for it. It'll come right up. And then here's where you, this is literally how easy this is. I just love this thing. You just go down and pick what you want. You can go down and pick, the different effects, vintage photos, drawings, whatever you want to do, magazines. You pick it, and then you can just click on the one you want to do, type the newspaper.
Modulator. What's it gonna be about? Ham radio etiquette?
No, this is a different one. But yeah, we'll go to upload PC and we'll just go in here and you can pick, see, these are all the pictures I made here. And you can just pick whatever picture you want for the cover and put that on there, click on it, and you center it up how you want it in the picture. Crop, go, and it makes the picture for you.
Wow, that's cool.
And that's it. And then all you do, right click, save image as. It's that simple. And it's now yours. You own it. You can use it and do whatever you want with it. A lot of people believe that, truthfully, that a lot of people will tell you, hey, I can't do graphics. I can't do graphics because it's just, I don't know how to do graphics. You don't have to. All you got to do is just know where to go to do this stuff. Let's say you wanted to, let me see, the billboards are fun. Where are they at? Billboards. There's 61 of these things.
Wow.
I mean, this is no BS.
I'm going to have some real fun with this.
Yes, you will,
Yeah,
John.
I am too.
Probably with me.
Between this and the GIMP, I will have a lot of fun because I already know how to use the GIMP.
There you go. And choose your photo. We can choose whatever photo we want here. We'll put Joseph on this one. And there you go. Click go.
So the question is, what is this billboard advertising?
I don't know. You, yeah, it's just you, dude.
It's just me staring at you.
You know, imagine something fun.
Could you imagine living across the street from that sign right there? I mean, I don't know, man.
I wouldn't want to live across the street from that.
But I mean, you could do a sleepy little mountain town. I'm showing you guys how I want you to the big takeaway that I want you to take from this whole thing is how absolutely easy this is. I mean, it's so easy. If you want the ARRL field day bus, all right, there we go. Field day in the mountains. And notice it puts the snow on there, and it literally makes it look realistic. And that's just how fast it is. And you can just keep going, right click save, go on to the next one. And there's more. There's so many of these. There's even like this one puts the street light in it to make it look real. You can put whatever you want.
I was just thinking of some of the things I can do with this.
And then we'll just pick a photo. I don't care which one. I don't know. I got so many dumb photos in here, but anyway, we'll just pick one. We'll use this one.
All right. Do we know that guy?
Yeah.
We don't know this.
Do they have like mugs and stuff? I bet you they have like cups.
I should get Buddy Holly glasses from the Air Force. That's what I need to do.
See, now I wonder how this would work. I don't know. We'll have to see how this works. I haven't tried this one. So this one's supposed to analyze your face and put this on the face. So what country do you want to be? Switzerland?
Wait, they don't have America?
No.
Oh,
there, you're there. Hey, there you go.
Oh, man.
Oh, I just love
That
this
can
stuff.
become an art object here. You know, this.
There you go. Here's Halloween.
Your text. Ooh,
There's
that's
that one I
spooky.
made there. I made that one.
Rich.
Yeah, Rick actually looks better than the one they're using.
Oh yeah, he does, for sure. He just basically said you're a better witch than the witch.
But he looks like Yoda.
I need the long ears.
Not very nice you are. Oh, where's this thing and why isn't it working? Oh, okay, let me get this thing going again.
Something out of a haunted house.
Let's see here. And here's the Christmas ones. But basically any of these, you just pick it and then you just type in the text you want. You can pick the color you want. Like, let's say you want it to be silver and you want to put whatever you want to put in here. And it'll literally, you know, I know this sounds kind of corny, but you can literally do stupid things like this. Like you can make like custom pictures with your friends' names on them and stuff at Christmas time and things, you know, and just stupid little things. And they think you're amazing. Oh my God, how did you do that? That's so amazing. You just put it right here.
Dumbass.
And then you pick the text you want and you go. There you go.
Dumb friend's name.
Oh, I love this thing. Does frames. It even does the shredding one. I mean, you gotta love that, right?
And it gives you an actual GIF?
I know, and that was just not long ago, right?
Wow.
Rick's gonna get pissed I keep using his picture. Let's see how this comes out.
What are we gonna do? Shred me? Shred me.
And so you can pick the one that's not moving or the one that's moving. And I click go and you wait a while and oh, there he goes.
Shred.
Now,
Poor
obviously,
Rick.
I'm using very low resolution pictures. If you use a high resolution picture, it will look a lot better. It may even shred better. I don't know. Anyway.
Poor Rick.
Oh, well, you know. Don't feel
There's a bunch of them. The lab one here is really cool. I was screwing around with this one. We did oh, what did I do? No, I did it like this, I think.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that cool? And then boom, right click, save image. I own it.
There you go.
I think I'll save that one.
Nice. Well.
Yep. So this is called I don't want to belabor this too long, but this is called Photophonia, and you guys can go there and check it out. And some really good stuff. Oh, here's movies. I didn't do movies. Now, I don't know how any of this is going to come out.
Have you seen The Wizard?
I don't know which one you want to do.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh yeah. Where's that one?
One more down. There you go. On the right.
All right. We'll do this one. Let's see how it does. I don't know. That one didn't come out all that good, but sometimes they come out better than others.
They were better than others.
Professions. I don't even remember what this one is. Oh, here we go. Is Santa Claus a profession? I don't.
A very well paid profession.
The gun. Oh, I love that one.
You think that one will work? I don't know. We'll try it. That is funny now. That's Rambo Rick, and ain't no bull there. I'm telling you.
Crap.
I'm coming to get you.
Like something out of the talent.
All right, so let's go back. All right, so that was all Photo Funya. So you guys can check that out when you get a chance. And the next one I want to tell you guys about is another one called Atom Smasher. This is a small one. It's been around for a long time, but I've been using this one because I really like it. It has some really cool ones like the two you see on here. I love that. Hams do it until it gigahertz. Anyway, nope. See, you guys find nothing funny. It's like, okay. Anyway, sorry. So I'll just put swap shop announcements up there. Oh, there we go. But these are fun. Like if you've got a club meeting or something and you want to put some funny little thing in the bottom of your announcement, this will be fun, you know. They also do wall graffiti. If you can't read that, it says it's okay if you don't like
off.
ham radio. It's kind of for the smart kids anyway. And the one on the right, that's California, man. The gas has gone way up out there last year.
$100 a gallon.
But 50% off if you're ham operators, so it's not so bad.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and these are all values that you put in. Here we go.
Ian's House Chinese Restaurant.
Yeah, you guys didn't know I owned a Chinese restaurant.
You got to have your FCC card with you.
Yeah, you got to show me your card, but I'll give you a free drink. Here's my last two. This is actually our headquarters. We're at 146 685 Radio Road.
Radio Road.
I know that seems like too many numbers, but that's the numbers.
Wait, that's the
685.
frequency.
Above the
That's
window.
the frequency.
It sucks. I suggest reinstalling a better operating system.
Yeah,
I am
and you can
stupid.
also in this, he also has a link there to another site where you can make these warning messages, and that's pretty cool too. And I'm going to show you all that here. Oh wait, there's more.
Well, members of Southwest Florida Tech Team.
See, you thought there was no Hamfest, but there was, and we were
The
there.
people in that crowd don't look like hams to me.
They don't look like they're in Tokyo either, but that's just me. Yeah, that one on the right, that was a fun event.
Yes, and rib cook-off.
Yeah, we were on
that
40.
sounds like that.
You know, well, it was fun, except unless it's your mic they're using with those sticky fingers on 40 meters.
Well, yeah.
Get barbecue sauce all in the
what
knobs.
the heck? We've got baby wipes.
There you go. So it is what it is. All right, and let me show you guys this one. This is atomsmasher.org, and a great website. But it's a little website. This guy doesn't have a whole lot of stuff on here, but I'll show you what he's got. You go on here. Here's his signs down here. The error message generator. This is this one here. You can make whatever error message you want.
And can you choose a different operating system style for the box?
I don't know.
Like, can I have a Windows 10?
Oh, well, there's XP and there's 9598. That's the two they
Oh,
have.
you
Like
only
I
get
said, this
those,
is
so-
old. Dude, this is old.
I
Man,
think-
this thing is old.
I think 10 probably got more errors than XP did.
Yeah, probably. But you can just basically, all you have to do is pick the icon you want, and then come down here and just type what you want to put in the blue bar, type what text you want, and then you can type on the buttons. You type whatever you want, you click generate, and it will actually make it for you, just like that.
There's a way to do this in Windows with a bat file. You can actually make an actual working error message. Why is there? Well, that's the AOL logo, isn't it? That triangle thing.
Where? That?
Yeah,
Mm,
and
that-
and the little man next to him is an AOL logo too.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
like, is that the Arch logo for a second? Arch Linux logo?
Yeah.
So, you know.
But there is the Linux logo. It's right there. And then there's this one here, the little Linux guy with the wrench. And then that's where you can type, ham radio sucks or whatever, and make your button, center button, right button. So anyway, that's how you make those. And that's the first link on that website. Word puzzle generator. This is kind of fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So you can go, what did I put on here? I thought I saved this. So
SWFL Tech
there you
Team.
go. And that's how easy that is. If they could make Vanna come out and turn them around, I'd really be impressed.
That would be cool.
But yeah, you just right click, save image. That one belongs to you. And we just go back. Now we're back to here again. And you just pick whichever one of these you want. I don't need to go through
This
all
is
of
a
them.
lot of fun.
Yep. And you just go through here. You can see I've already got my stuff in here.
Actually, that looks like I-75 in Atlanta.
Yeah. I don't know, whatever. But you click it and it makes the sign for you. So anyway, there you go. And I got to tell you, of all of them, this one's a lot of fun, even though it doesn't have a lot. But it does have some. This one's I didn't do one of these, but this is Las Vegas Strip. It's the least realistic of the ones on here.
Oh yeah, this looks
But on this one, you can actually choose like different logos, and it will change the actual logo up on the top as well. So let's see here. Yeah. So anyway, that's those. No, those are my two websites tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We're now going to open it up to anybody that has anything they would like to bring up at this point, or any questions about those websites. Come now.
Man, I wish.
Well, the other night you went through some other ones, and I don't know what I wrote down, but I could not get those to load and do
Okay.
anything. It was like flamingtext.com.
Yeah, flaming
Luna
text.
PC.
Flaming, like flamingtext.com.
Was it flaming or framing?
Flaming, like fire. Yeah, because one of their big ones that everybody likes is the one that looks like fire. And
Okay. And then
well, and I didn't type it right either.
and then it was like
Apex.
Luna PC.
Lunapic, LUNAPIC.com, lunapic.com.
Say that again. LUN.
Yeah, LUNA PIC, PIC. LUNAPIC.
That's exactly what I have written, and I didn't get that before. Maybe that was the one. Yeah. Since then, I've updated my internet speed.
Yeah, this is the Lunapic one right here. I don't know why I've lost my monitor here. Yeah, this one here is for manipulating photographs. And what's great about this one is you just click upload, you upload your photograph, pick whatever photograph it is that you want to mess with. It brings it in, and then from here you can do just about anything with this photo you want. You can go in here and you can copy to the clipboard, paste from the clipboard. Let me show you how this works. Paste from. Let's say I want to put a logo on there. Paste from, choose file. I go down, I pick whatever logo I want to use. Let's go to the TechNet. Where's it at? Why is it missing? That's weird that that's missing, but that's okay. Let's go right here to this. We'll double click on it. This puts it in, I upload it. I make sure that's what I want. Yes, continue on to paste. And now I can take my logo and put it anywhere I want on this picture. I can put it here, whatever. I can make it small and make it try to look like it's supposed to be in the sign if I want to. And then when you're done, you just click apply, and there you go. Now you've got your patch in the design. Now, if I want to add another one, file, go to edit, paste from, choose file. And then another one I do is, let's take the generic Aries logo. There's our logo, continue to paste. And then we just bring the size down. It's way, way, way too big. But do you guys see how quick you can make something that looks very professional?
Oh, yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
So this just there's a lot of things you can do. You can transparent background is one that I use a lot. Let's say you have a upload an image. Let's say we're going to take an image like, let's say, let me pick something here. Okay, here's an air. That's not a good example. Here's a POTA. Okay. Now, I've already done this on another image, but let's say I want to put this on my website and I don't want that goofy green background that looks like DOT bathrooms. So what I'll do, there's one color I hate in the whole world and it's green. Anyway, we're going to take this. Sorry, dude. Sorry, man. I'm a red-blue guy. All right. So you take this logo. I go up here, edit, transparent background. I'm going to show you. You're going to laugh at how easy this is. Select, done.
Yeah.
Apply, and then that's it. I just save image, save, and I've saved it as a PNG, which is a transparent file. It's ready to go. It can go right on your website. It can go wherever you want it to go now, and it's transparent. That's
a lot easier than on the GIMP for that matter.
It's easier. I like Lunapic because it's easier than like Photoshop or something. I mean, this is like for people like me that just want to get it done. So, you know, that transparency is a big one. There's some other ones I use in here. Swap colors. Let's see, where's that at? Adjust, replace color. This is kind of cool. You can actually tell it a new color. Like, let's say we want to make it red. All right. And then I come in here and, whoops, I shouldn't have clicked on it yet. Apply red, and I collect here, and now look, it changes the tree to red. And then I can adjust how aggressive I want that to be. Oh, that got too aggressive. But see, you with a little bit of playing around, you can get really good at this, and you can actually make money making graphics for people. But anyway, that's how you do that. And we'll apply color. Now we can take this, we can adjust, we can flip, we can blur, we can mirror and copy. Color box, color spotting, replace color. That's what we just did. Color tinting, meaning to tint the whole thing a different color. Pixelate means to make it look like it's, you know, less focused. Sharpen, straighten, perspective, brightness, alpha transparency. I mean, there's literally anything you could want on here to do with this image. If you want to erase, magic wand, skew. I'm just so surprised. And then you can draw right on it. You can have a text tool, do text, tracing, drawing. You can just take the draw to and you can draw right over it if you want. You do it that way. And then when you're ready, just apply it. There you go. This is getting better as we go, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So these are all different things that that you can do. Look at that. You can glass tile it. That's kind of interesting.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. And then if you don't like it, you just undo this effect. You can also go back in your history all the way back to the beginning if you want to and start over again. And you can save your work anywhere along the way. You can save your work as many times as you want. If you guys notice when I open my file, when I'm making a new patch or a new design or a new logo, I'll literally have all the different renditions in there from when I was making it. Because if I'm going to go back and fix something, it's nice to have all the parts to go back and fix it. So anytime I'm doing graphics, I always go in and I make a new folder for that project. And then I'll save all the pieces and parts in that folder so that if I want to go back and remake it later, it's not as difficult because I already have all the pieces and parts. All right. I'm trying to pull something up here. There we go. All right, let's see where it is here. I think it's under TechNet. I'm getting to the point where I have so many files and so many folders, it's getting to be difficult. You can also add borders. You can drop shadows. You can do just absolutely anything. And this is filters. You can do lighting filters, night vision filters, rainbow filters. And these things just, I mean, yeah, just like anything you want to do. So here's an example. When I do a logo project, these are all like the parts that I used for my logo. You know, you can see the different parts, the different earlier renditions of the design, the satellites, the different pieces that I used, all the little things that you see in there, the flag that I used for this top piece here. There's the actual words that go in the middle. So I basically have all this stuff. There's the basic without the stuff in the middle. There's the testing I did to see what it would look like, all the different parts that I used in it. And I save all that so that if I want to build this again, I can build it again. So that's basically what that is. Okay. Any questions on Lunapic?
You can also take a small object like a handheld and put it in a downtown area of a city and make it the size of a building.
Yeah. Yeah. With this, you can literally drop anything. And the key is when you're going to drop something in a photo, you want to make it transparent. Yeah. So that way, when you drop it in the photo, it looks like it belongs there because it's cut out.
Like the bowfing that ate Cincinnati.
There you go.
There you go.
Yes, the Cincinnati
or
bowfing incident.
Cockroach or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, and the other website that I was asked to mention is this one here. This one, another great website. This one is called Flaming Text. I did this one last week, and this one here, you literally just pick where you want to start. Pick one that's kind of close to what you like. Like if you kind of like this design, go ahead and click on it. Then it's going to give you a bunch more choices with that design. Go ahead and just click edit logo. And then from here, you can pick just about anything about this. You can decide what color do you want that inside. Do you want it to be more golden? You can click that and it makes it gold and chrome. If you can pick whatever color you want. I think that's kind of cool there. It makes it look a little 70s. You can do however you want. Pick your color, pick your however you want to do it, and then that makes the colors up there change. Once you get all this stuff all figured out, you go to shadow. If you want a shadow on it, you can drop a shadow, do a reflection, do a glow. Look at this, you can do a reflection. It'll actually look, it puts a reflection on there for you. So there's a lot of different ones there. And then of course your background. I always suggest a transparent background. And then once you do that, this can now be dropped into anything. I'm going to show you, we're going to click next. And we're going to right click, copy image. And I'm going to go to tonight's slideshow. I'm literally just going to go to tonight's slideshow, paste. There it is right there in tonight's slideshow. That's how easy it is. It pastes right into documents. It pastes right into Word. It pastes right into most things. It'll paste right in. You can save it and then drag it and drop it in later when you're doing stuff. You know, most people don't realize, a lot of people don't realize if you're building something you can just take something out of your file manager, drop it over and put it right on the thing you're dropping it onto. Drag and drop is amazing. I make these slideshows. When Joseph and I first started doing it, I think he was a little surprised at how I could punch one of these out in like an hour. And then I spend a couple hours going back and, you know, tweaking it and everything. But I can pop one of these out in no time because of how easy it is to just simply go into my own library and drag and drop and put it in here. But also I can go to anywhere online. Watch this. I'm doing this demonstration now. I'm setting it up. Watch this. I go online. I type let's say I want a picture of an ICOM 7100. I type in ICOM 7100 ham radio, and then I go to images. Then I go to tools, type, GIF. Now it's only going to show me transparent images that have a clear background. And I can go through and decide if there's any that I like. I can always take one and go make it transparent. But why do that? That's an extra step. So you can just go in here and find one that maybe already is transparent. Okay, that one, yeah, that one's transparent. So then all I got to do is take that and right click, copy, or I can drag it, hover over the tab that my other thing is on, come here, drop. And there it is. And notice that it's still spinning and everything's still working on it.
The animation still works.
Yep. And there you go. I've got a working radio. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So that just shows you how easy it is to work with graphics. People feel like graphics is just too much. It's just too much. It's not. And graphics is the future. Okay. Joseph, forgive me for what I'm about to say. You better make it flashy if you want these younger folks to even look at it.
No, you're right.
It's true though. I mean, you know, you got to make something that you got to make something that's going to get their attention, and that's basically the bottom line.
And
All right,
everything is trying to get their attention these days. I mean, ads and everything are just, so it has to like really, it can't be typical ham stuff, you know. It can't be like a typical ham logo to get them interested.
Yeah, I know. That's why one of the reasons I got a lot of feedback. We've gotten some feedback from some of you guys on the survey. And for those of you who get the TechNet newsletter, please take the survey. It's fairly long, but it's important. We've already made a couple of changes. We're going to take a 5-minute break coming up here in about 15 minutes. That's one of the changes we've already made. We're going to take a 5-minute toilet break every hour. And I'm actually going to turn my camera off and stand up and go walk around for 5 minutes. And I suggest everybody does the same thing.
Good.
We will leave Zoom on. You can sit here and talk. I don't care, but it'll be wide open for you guys to use while we're on break. Eventually I might have some videos or something to play, but for right now, we're just going to go ahead, and I have to be careful what I play because of copywriting and stuff with YouTube. So for right now, we're just going to just basically mute our mics, and you guys can talk for the 5 minutes, but we're going to take 5 minutes every hour. One of the other things people said was, I actually had several people say, your website's so loud. It's very disco. It's very crazy. There's like so many crazy graphics. And yeah, you're right. There is. And I don't mean to sound like a smartass, but I'm not really going to apologize, because although I do agree it may be a little much, and we're actually working right now on toning some of it down, and make it a little more professional, and a little less disco. And we agree. That being said, I made this thing to catch the attention of young folks. I made this thing to not look like all the other club websites in Southwest Florida, because although they have great websites, and I'll even mention FMARC has a very comprehensive website, and the other groups, CARS has a website. But that being said, I wanted something that would catch young folks' attention. Most amateur radio websites start out with something like, the very first thing you read on the website, and no, our local groups aren't guilty of this, but there's some. The very first thing on their website is, due to COVID-19 restrictions, our meetings will not be held until further notice, until we do Zoom, and then only on Zoom, because we're not all going to get sick. And I'm like, that's the very first thing you're saying is we're all a bunch of hypochondriacs. I mean, come on, guys. I really think the first thing you should say is, welcome, man. Join up. It's fun. Anyway. So that's why I did what I did. And we're doing things like, we're going to put things on this website that no one else is doing. The plane tracker, that's going on the website. We're doing a SSTV node, so you can actually send images into the Southwest Florida Tech team, and they'll display on the website automatically. And you could test your equipment using our node. And that's something we're working on right now too. And we're also going to be putting the weather satellite data up on the website. Why? To get people interested. Yeah, this is stuff you can get somewhere else, but we want to get people interested in what we're doing. It's the interest in building that equipment that made it, and doing it yourself, and that's what we're trying to get. So we heard what you said, and we agree. So we're going to meet you halfway on the website. Some other stuff that was in the feedback that I thought was very good. I was very surprised the number of people that are not interested in contesting. Would you believe 80% of you are not interested in contesting?
Yeah.
Wow. What a shame. Contesting is fun. What
Field
a
day, winter
great,
field day.
great way. And when I say contesting, John, yes, I consider winter and summer field days as that as well, even though it's not a contest.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
I enjoy those.
Yeah.
I'm just chuckling at you, Ian.
Yeah. Well, because for those of you who are new, John and I have an argument every year on whether winter field day is actually a contest or whether it's an event. And
It's always funny to argue whether or not field day is a contest. Always
I know. And you know, the fun thing is we're just doing it for fun, because the truth is it's both and it's neither. Anyway, but all these different things, the contests are a lot of fun. I don't even turn my logs in. A lot of the contests, the other guy gets credit even if you don't turn your log in. So a lot of times I just play to get contacts. I love it. With FT8, it's fun when they're contesting because they'll put out what band they're going to be on. And all you got to do is, for some of them, you have to go set your system to just send some different information. But next thing you know, you're making contacts like this. I mean, it's pretty fast. And phone contesting. John, AA4JS, taught me how to phone contest. And I'm going to tell you what, I love phone contesting. It's a lot of fun. Working pileups. Figuring out different ways to say your call sign so that they hear you. You know, are you the guy that goes KO4EFS, KO4EFS, or are you the guy that waits till everybody else gets done and you go EFS?
It depends on the people you're working with.
It depends on
the switch up and do different tactics at different times.
Ian, I've got to tell this story, and
go ahead.
And I'm not going to say who it's on, but Saturday, a bunch of us went out and did a POTA activation. And there was one operator that's relatively new that was operating. And boy, he was belting out that call sign in POTA. And some guy came back to him and said, "Slow down, nothing's on fire. I can't write that fast."
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
You could tell the guy responding was pretty old. You could just tell by his voice.
Yeah.
And I got a kick out of that. Several of us heard it and got a chuckle out of it. But it was a good lesson for this guy that is a relatively new op, not real new, but anyway, we had a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, I love working pileups. I like trying to find ways to work them. And I got so bold in the last couple that I did where I was actually working the other end of it, where I was calling it and people were coming right back and it was going really cool. I only have 100 watt with a little wire. So normally I don't do that, but sometimes when it's running, it's running. The next thing I want to mention real quick, and we can talk about this real quick, and then I'll ask for open topics again. And you guys can tell me if this is normal, because as you guys know, I've been doing this a year now. 15 has been running long lately. I have just noticed that 15 has been running crazy long in the afternoon. And I'm going to show you guys. It's so obvious that I'm going to actually pull up my log and show you. Oh, good. QRZ's making me sign in. Yeah, it's me. Super secret stuff here. All right. I had to sign in twice to get to my public logbook. All right. Here we go. This is my logbook, and I want to show you guys this new logbook that QRZ has is amazing. I got it all set up now to where it tells me the continent, the country, the state, the county, and the town, and then the name. So I have all the person's information straight across right there now. And I've got this set up really nice the way I like it. Anyway, if you look here, look where my 15 meters is. It's all overseas. Europe, overseas, Europe, South America, Europe. Wow. And then I get on 80, it's all here local. And then you get 30 meters is all pretty short. 20 meters was running fairly short, although I did get a few here in Europe. But then I get back to 15. Look at me in 15 again. Africa. That was 6,400 miles or something. Let me see. Did it say? I couldn't believe how many miles this was away. Absolutely amazing. Does it say on here how many miles? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not, because that would be good information. Anyway, so it amazed me. I just want to show you guys when I get to 15, I get a long distance contacts on 15. Brazil, Venezuela, Fiji. I mean, all they make there is water and film, and I got them. Venezuela, United States, Mexico, Argentina. That was a funny joke, and nobody even laughed. I swear.
I was
chuckled
thinking
a
about
little
water
bit.
with the film on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a light or something to blink when you guys think something's funny. Okay, and let's see, South
Well,
America.
the problem
South
is that
America.
you don't have
Or
a
just
laugh
when we're
track.
supposed to laugh.
Yeah, you need a laugh track to tell us when we're supposed to laugh, and then we'll find it funny.
Oh,
with the
that's
laugh
what it is. I need a big knob here I can turn up right when I give the punchline. All right, I'll work on that. I'll get some laugh track. Okay, so there you go. Anyway, the point I wanted to show you guys is every time I tune up 15, it's going out really, really far. One other quick anomaly. I noticed the other day 17 tuned up really easy. It was weird. So for 2 days I worked 17, which I normally can't work because my antenna doesn't like 17. Couldn't figure it out, right? My wife goes, hey, there was some vines growing out there on your wire. I pulled them down. I'm like, oh, I went back out. I can get 20 and 15 again. No 17. Not a chance in hell. So I told my wife, I said, if those vines start growing again, come ask me, because I was getting some good contacts on 17. And it was funny.
Tune those vines up. That's all there is to it.
That's right. Wow, I got thunder here, folks. I literally have thunder outside. So anyway, I also went out there and I looked. The last 4 feet of the vine was burnt to a crisp. Little RF there. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there. A vine will get you from 15 to 17. Who knew? Anyone?
That's the carbon from where you've been burning it.
Yeah, it's probably what it is. You can actually Google this. There's some guys that they kept hearing the term. It's so good you could get them on a wet noodle. And so they actually cooked a 7-foot-long piece of pasta and loaded it, and on 500 kilowatts made a contact to the block down the street.
How they didn't burn out their equipment, I don't know. It was laying on their driveway too.
Well,
Like,
at
on the
500
ground.
kilowatts, we're not going to burn any finals out. So, but it was QRP.
My old club did the same to me. I used to say 6 meters. You can work it with a wet piece of string. And one day they
500
did.
milliwatts. You
Yeah.
just said 500 kilowatts.
Yeah, milliwatts, kilowatts.
Antenna channel.
If it was 500 milliwatts, I doubt anybody would hear him.
Chinese
Down the
milliwatts.
street, you could go that far.
Yeah.
500
Yeah, probably.
milliwatts, that's a half a watt.
Yeah. So anyway, the point was that I actually read the article and I was like, I couldn't believe these guys actually charged up a spaghetti noodle. But anyway, I believe you can make an antenna out of anything. I really do. All right. Anyone else? Bring your topics now.
Ian, can we go back to QRZ?
Yes.
Is there a way to, when you enter into your log,
Uh-huh.
you have to go searching for FT8, but it gives you, so if you just put a random call sign up in the top corner, you're entering a call sign. There, you take the next one, that's it. Now, yours has come up with FT8, but is there a way of programming those? Because I never do PSK31, and I'd like that to be FT8.
I wonder why that's my default and not yours.
Because it was the last call you made.
Yeah, that must be.
So if you change that,
yours should be on the last one you made then.
No, well, yeah. Well, the thing is that I go back and forth from sideband to FT8. So if you click sideband,
I
it comes
see.
up. And then if you save that as a call,
right,
when you
then
come
have to
back
go
again,
back
it'll
and
come
find
up
it.
as sideband.
Right. And
So-
these are not in order. They're all out of order and all whacked.
Yeah, I know, because FT4 and FT8 are miles apart.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if you can program, like where it says D-Star, I haven't even got any D-Star equipment. So if I could make D-Star into FT8.
Well, I'm trying to see. They do have settings in here now, but I
Yeah,
don't
but
know if
that's
they've
all
got
for
one
the
that.
main screen.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
I
if
just
they've got
wondered
the
if
thing for
you-
here. I don't know. I rarely log anything manually because the computer does it.
Well, that's my next question later, but.
Do you
Yeah, I
have rig?
saw-
Do you have rig control?
yeah,
Then it should get that in. I mean, the thing is with me is all my FT8 is logged by Grid Tracker. So the moment I make a contact and I hit OK, it sends it to QRZ. And it can send it to wherever you want it to. Now, I only send mine to QRZ and then I do the rest manually because I just want to make sure that I don't send erroneous information to Logbook of the World where you can't delete it.
yeah.
So,
But the way I work is that my FT8 station is obviously running FT8. I've got Grid Tracker running now, and that's a question for later I got with you is how do you make it auto? But if I'm doing sideband, single sideband, it's on a different rig and a different computer. So I can't do auto. I'm not too worried about the manually entering it. I just don't really want to keep going hunting for FT8 all the time. I just wanted to make one of those keys. And I'm sure you can do it because that seems so logical to me. Because there can't be many people
I can tell
keeping a
you
log
they
about
could-
D-Stars.
Do you
The
auto
key-
log from your FT8 program, your WSJTX program?
No, I don't at the moment. That's why I got to ask, when we get round to that later. Because I only put it in last week. And, okay.
this is where you want to go in your Grid Tracker. And this is where you can tell it where you want it to log your stuff.
What is the API key?
Okay, the API key is required for Logbook of the World. Isn't that the one?
No, if you look at QRZ.
No, that's down. That's
No,
TQSL key.
API key is for QS.
Yeah, that's for
QRZ.
QRZ. Yeah. What if you are on QRZ and you pay for the data subscription that John and I have, they'll give you an API key that you can put there. The reason that becomes important, let me turn the 220 down. The reason that becomes important is because when you look up somebody, I'll show you. When I look up somebody, why is it not? Oh, I came up on the wrong screen. There we go. When I look up somebody on here, it will come up with their picture. It'll come up with all this information and their email address, and it will come up with all of their information over here. And all this stuff comes up automatically. If you do not have the QRZ $15 or $20 a year data plan or whatever it is, you don't get the picture, you don't get the email address, and you only get about a third of this information over here.
Well, no, I do. I get all that information. I don't know where to find the API number. I guess
That
it's a
would
number.
be, that would be in QRZ in here, and I'm not sure where.
Would it have been
I
an
don't know
email
if
that
that-
they sent to you?
I've never had an email
Yeah.
from QRC.
Well,
If
I'm
you
looking
go
at
into the
tech
settings
support.
page,
the tech support at QRZ is outstanding. You just send them an
back
email
up, Ian.
and they'll tell you.
Go
Where am
over under your call sign on the right-hand side in the blue bar and do my logbook. Click that and settings and your API key. Well, it's blurred out, but you click show.
Oh, okay. There it is right there. Did you see
Oh.
that?
Yeah, I'm going to go.
Thank
look
you,
now.
John. I couldn't for the life of me remember where I saw that darn thing.
Well, I had to think about it for a minute.
All right, but there it is right there, and they even blurted out. That's convenient, but I don't think it really whatever. But yeah, there's your API key. Okay, and when you're on Grid Tracker, and you go to your different logs here, I use Club Log as a backup. It's free. You go sign up for it. Send all my records there, just in case the server farms in Texas all explode. Maybe this one's in Alabama. The HRD log, I don't recommend for anybody because those people suck. Cloud Log, they stole $100 from me, John, so they're bastards. Let's see. So anyway, Cloud Log, I don't use. EQSL is another free one. Signed up for it, hooked it up, sends my stuff over there. Who cares, right? It's another backup. I got 5 backups. I don't care. And then Logbook of the World.
By the way, back up for just a moment, Ian. HRDlog.net is different than Ham Radio Deluxe software. It probably requires Ham Radio Deluxe software, but HRDlog.net is what I use on my QRZ page that shows my log on the page, shows what frequency I'm on and who I'm working and all that.
That is cool. I like that. And I'm not sure if you can do that when you use other ones. So that's definitely a benefit. But anyway, Logbook of the World is going to be a little tough to set up, but I will tell you the horror stories you've heard are probably slightly exaggerated, but only slightly. But it's not too bad. You just have to put in these things. Once you set up your Logbook of the World account, you'll get these things that you need to put in here. It's important when you set up your Logbook of the World that you set up your locations. I have 2 locations. So when I go to my cabin, all I have is go in here and switch it to cabin. And now it's sending all of my Logbook of the World stuff to that location. It's logging it that I'm at that location. So that's how that works. So yeah, you definitely want to do that. There's a bunch more too. Logbook for the Old Man. And there's your N1MM. We've got Rick uses that and several other guys. I've used N1MM as well for logging on contests. And there's some others there I really don't know. DX Keeper, HRD Logbook. There's the HRD Logbook down there, dude. That's the actual program, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, and it's one of them things. I had bad luck with them. Others have had good luck with them. It is what it is. Okay, so any more questions on that?
Thanks, that's good.
Okay. All right, and then every time you log with Grid Tracker, every time you log an FT8, the reason that button doesn't exist for FT8, and I'm pretty sure about this. I'm guessing, but I'm pretty sure about this. The reason that log it's not in there is because most people log their FT8. I went to your page. Most people log their FT8 contacts automatically. So what you need to do on this is if oh crap, I'm trying to get back to that page and it's just being a real pain.
I updated my QRZ page.
Oh, I see what I'm doing. I'm typing it in the wrong place. So anyway, if I click add QSO here, the reason it's not here as a button is I think because that one's generally logged automatically. So if you set it up to where your QRZ is being logged automatically by your Grid Tracker, then when you go to the other computer and you log a single sideband, all you have to do is click that and get the single sideband. Then when the other computer logs one, it'll switch it back to FT8 automatically. That should fix your problem, I would think. I don't know why they didn't put the button there, but the only thing I can figure is because most people wouldn't need one.
There's the drop down box thing. It says mode, it's a drop down box, and then it's got all the different
I
Loads
know,
in
but
there.
the problem is there's a million of them in here. They're not in order.
Well, if
No,
you
they're
start
not.
typing the first of its name, does it go to it? Like if you start clicking on it and you start typing
Even if I
FT,
type FT, yeah, you can type FT and it will come up. But yeah, I mean, look where they've got it filed between FSK 441 and hell.
Hmm.
well, that's alphabetical.
That's a hell of a place for it.
Somewhere between here and hell.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's alphabetically there, but then when you go up here, you'll find FT4 in a completely different place. And I think a lot of it's because they put dashes before some of them and not before others and whatever. But it's created a situation where it's a little hard to find sometimes. But it is nice once you get rig control and you get it all hooked up, because that way when you make a contact, it all just comes right over. And there's your 5.9, 5.9. Everything's 5.9, 5.9,
Everybody's
5.9. There's even a button for 5.9. Where's my button for 7.6? I mean, come on. Whatever, 4.3. I mean, you would think there'd be other buttons here, but there's not. Just 5.9, because that's all you ever get. It's 5.9. Anyway,
Even if
all
you
right.
had to ask for it 12 times.
Yep.
Right.
That's what gets me in a contest. They're like, what was that? What was that? It's like, just put 5.9, because you know that's what I'm going to say. It's like you get the guy's call sign 5 times. He gets your call sign, everything, but you can't get that state identifier. Just look him up on QRZ and put that state in. It's right
He'll be
98%
on
of the time.
vacation. He will be on vacation. Yes.
Yeah, the one time he will be, but that's okay, because the other
But-
99 times he wasn't.
Yes.
All right.
But for field
let's
day
see
and
here.
winter field day, he's on vacation. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So anything else on that? Anything else on logging or QRZ or any of that? This stuff is not as hard as it looks. I will tell you, I was a little, I found myself to be somewhat intimidated when I first started with the logging stuff, because it's stupid. I was under the impression, of course, HRD kind of gives you the impression that you have to have logging software. You have to have logging software. No, you don't. You don't need logging software at all. As a matter of fact, all my stuff just logs directly to 4 different websites. So, I mean, I know I'm not going to lose my data. Also, about
For me,
once a
it
month,
makes it easier, but that's something Ian and I, of course, disagree on. I think it works better to have separate logging software.
okay, and that may be valid. I don't know. I mean, I tried to use some different logging software and did not have very good luck with it. And one day I'm reading something and it says, why do you need logging software? And I'm like, that's a good question. I don't know. And it said, just go to QRZ. They got, and QRZ just did this huge update to their logbook. Let me show you guys one other thing here I just thought about. On the QRZ log, look at this over here on the side over here. See this display option? You can click that and it brings up this. I can decide what fields I want it to show. Look at all these fields that I have to choose from. I can choose all these different fields. I can make this thing a mile wide if I want to.
And that's what it needs on the
granted.
other page. That would be perfect on the other page, don't you think?
Yeah. But anyway, on this, you drag these into whatever order you want. If you want the number to be second, you would drag it down. If you want the number to be first, you drag it up. Wherever those end up, that's where these columns all end up. This is new. They didn't do this before. It sucked, and that's how you had to deal with it. Now you can tell it how many rows per page. Highlight sent the logbook of the world. Yes, green. What that means is anything in green, I've already sent the logbook of the world, and it's up there. It's confirmed as being there. And then you can hide your legend or show it. That's just this little bar down here at the bottom. I hide it. Frequencies, these are all your different things. But you can set this up to be however you want. Then once you get it set the way you want it, you can come over here. All the ones that have these little bars, you can drag. So you can make these the size you want. Another thing you can do, any of the ones that have these little arrows, you can use that to sort. So let's say I wanted to sort by county. I could literally sort by county and go to the L's and see if I got anybody in a certain county. I could, actually I sorted by country, but you know what I mean? Same thing. I could sort by continent. If I wanted, I click that and it's going to sort all my continents. There's all my Africas together now.
You know, earlier when you were asking about Africa, you wondered how far that was. You have that on your screen. It's just to the right. It has distance. Tells you to you in miles.
Oh yeah, you're right there.
No.
Oh no, that's frequency. Where's, oh, there it is right there. Yeah, miles right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking for it on the bigger screen, but yeah, there it is right there. I've put as much of the cool information on here that you could probably want. But yeah, there's Africa, Asia, Europe. And so if you want to sort it that way, you can sort it that way. Now, I want to sort it by date. That's cool. Let's say I want to sort it by time. I can sort it by time and see what time of day I did make the most contacts. I can sort it by call sign. If I'm looking for a certain call sign, but I'm not sure the exact number, I can sort it by call sign. You can sort by band. You can sort by frequency. Actually, you sort it by frequency. By grid. Any of these things you can sort by. But it gets even cooler than that. You can search for stuff here by just typing it in. But even cooler than that, right here is filters. And you can create a new filter right there. And in the filter, you tell it what you want that filter to do. And here it is right here. This is custom filter 11. Let's say I'm going to make that just FT8 contacts. Or no, let's make it better than that. Let's make it single sideband contacts only. I've already done this once, but okay. So I select the field I want to pull it from. The field is going to be the mode. So you would find mode, and then is choose, and it's going to be FTA. And once you set this up, it'll save and it will be there every time. See, here we go. Oh no, I was going to do single sideband, wasn't I?
Yeah.
So where is it here?
Just type in S and it'll take you to it.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, and then you just click add rule, and now that becomes this rule up here. And now every time I want to look at this, I can just go up here and click SSB only. And now it's just going to pull up my phone contacts. So I can just look at my phone contacts and who I've talked to on phone. I've set some other ones. I have one up here I use with my wife. She likes to see the guys I'm talking to in Maryland because she's from Maryland. So I click that. And it pulls up all my latest contacts from just Maryland. And I tell her, oh, yeah, I got Carroll, Prince George's County, Anne Arundel County. You know, this is right where she's from. And so it's pretty cool. But you can set this up for any kind of search filter that you want. I can do just Florida. This gives me just my Florida contacts that I've made. So QRZ logbook has become a really powerful tool. It really has. So, and each time you set the filter, it tells you how many QSOs are in that, QSOs are in that filter. So Florida only, I've made 315 Florida contacts. Okay, anything else on that? All right, let's open it back up. Does anybody have anything they would like us to go through or work on or look at or any of that kind of good stuff?
Hey, Ian.
Okay.
I was on the net with a bunch up in Atlanta last night, the North Georgia QRP group, and we got to talking about JS8 call. Come to find out, the guy that wrote JS8 call is from that area up there. So I sent you an email with his information on it. So
good.
So I'd like to have him on this show one night, and I figured he could come on here and explain it to us, since we had such a hard time figuring it out from the start. So this way we can get it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, that would be good. JS8's one I want to use. Ian, Charlotte County is.
Yesterday, Rick advertised the TechNet up in Atlanta, where I'm located. And
Yeah,
he
I know.
mentioned it, right? He mentioned that you all are going to have Dave Slaughter, W3 DJS on in the near future. Do you have a
Yes.
hard and fast date?
No, I don't. We had him scheduled. He had a family emergency come up, and we have him as on standby now. And as soon as he gets to where he can schedule things again, he's going to contact us. So that's where we're at on
Okay,
that.
well-
But we do plan on having him on. Like I said, it was already scheduled, but you know, life happens.
Right, right. Well, hopefully Rick will tell his buds up at the Noga QRP that Dave is back on. Well, while I've got my microphone open, Ian, is there anybody running either Ham Pie or Ham PC from Dave?
Yeah, we installed Ham Pie just a week or two ago here, right here on the net. And
sweet.
yeah, and Joseph and I each have it up at our houses, and we're both working on it right now. Yeah, I like Ham Pie. I've already done a few things on it. I've already hooked an SDR Sharp up to it and received radio on it. So yeah, I love me some Ham Pie.
Okay, well, do you have to install a whole image to the SD card? Or if you just want, for instance, like WSJTX, can you just install that? And is it like all or nothing on the image?
Basically,
Well,
everything.
what I'll say about that, yeah, I think this one's pretty much all or nothing. But I will tell you, it all comfortably fits on a 16 gigabyte card. So if you get a 32 gigabyte card, you'll have everything on there, and you'll still have plenty of room to expand and grow and put data on there and everything else. So and with the way Ham Pie works, it's not going to slow it down just sitting on the chip there. So, but Joseph, I'll turn it over to you. If you're in here, you might have something
Yeah.
on that.
Guess I can't see me because of the screen.
There
yeah,
you are.
So
Turn the light
oh,
on.
you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, it's an all or nothing kind of thing. The individual programs themselves are compatible with Linux, but the Raspberry Pi uses like a separate. It's a different. I don't know what you call it. Like computers use x86 and
The different
it's an architecture, yeah. And Raspberry Pis are on ARM. So if you go to like the WSJTX website, it's not going to say here's an installer for Raspberry Pi. It actually has to have some modification done to it to make it work on the Raspberry Pi, and that's what Steve Lauder's done. Or what's that? Is that his name?
Dave Slaughter.
Dave Slaughter. That's what
Yeah.
he's done for Ham Pies. He's gone and done that for us all in this one package. So you may be able to find another guide that says how to do it. You may be able to find another guide online that tells you how to put WSJTX on a Raspberry Pi, but it's not as easy.
Well, it's no big. Okay, yeah, it's no big deal for me to get a 32 gig SD card. You know, difference is probably just a couple bucks between what I'm using. Have you or Ian tried the WSJTX on the Pi, Raspberry, Ham Pi?
Yeah, we did, and it works fine. We haven't tested it with rig control yet, but I assume it worked fine because it uses the same libraries as it does on any other install. So it should be as simple as plugging in your rig control radio with USB, like you normally would on any other computer, and it should just work.
Okay, Natalie, on the Pi, do you have to use a USB sound dongle, or does the Pi have some what do you call it?
Built-in
audio
sound
in
card.
and out.
So it has
Built-in sound card.
it has audio output only. So if you want to pipe audio into it, you are going to need to plug in one of those USB sound cards.
Like the one I'm holding up.
Yeah, exactly like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that works.
I think I've bought about 5 different ones of those now, and they all work really good actually for a little $8 box.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Right. Well, this one, is generic, and it seems to work fine with Linux. One more quick question. is what were you saying, Rick?
It should work under the Pi as well. Work on a Raspberry Pi. as
Okay,
well.
cool. All right, and Ham PC, the distribution for 64-bit x86 machines. Has anyone on the TechNet tried that one? Ham PC.
I haven't.
No, but we've talked about it. We know that it exists, and I've actually already downloaded it, but I haven't played with it yet. I'm gonna make a USB dongle, and I'm gonna install it into one of our experimental machines here, so we can start playing with it. But I haven't done it yet. Joseph, have you messed with that yet?
No, I have not.
Okay, I can't wait. I think it's
Okay.
gonna be pretty cool. We'll see how it does. I'm kind of anxious to see, because I actually want to run my FT8 on a Linux, an old Windows machine that's running Linux. That's what I'd like to do. And so that might be the answer to that, is the HamPi. So we're going to see how that goes. But
Okay, well, thank you
right.
for your advice, and again, shout out to Rick for publicizing your TechNet with the North Georgia QRP group. And Rick obviously used to live up here.
Who did?
He's mentioned that a couple of times, yes.
well, we appreciate it, getting the word out. We've been doing this for a little while now. We're literally, I know this is going to sound crazy, but we've been doing this TechNet for 10 months. So yes, our first TechNet was the first week in November.
Wow.
So it's actually been more than 10 months we've been doing this. So, and it's starting to get out there. We've got like 80 or 90 subscribers now on YouTube, and we get a lot of people watch later. So you look down and there's only 19 or 40 or 20 or 30 participants, but what you don't realize is people are coming and going the whole time. And also a lot are watching on YouTube, both live and later. So there's, we're getting a decent crowd. All right, guys. If that's all you have there, I do appreciate you coming on, Arnold, coming on tonight, and asking that. And anytime you guys have anything like that, this is what this is for: is to work it out amongst us all, and maybe get us in contact with who help us. All right, we're gonna take a little break. First time we've ever done this in 10 months. We're gonna take a break. I say that a lot at work, but I don't say it here. All right, we're gonna take a break, and we'll be right back. Yeah, unlike the breaks at work, I'm not going to play any commercials. You're not going to get any pest commercials or roofing commercials, or, oh my God,
Now
air
you've got the
conditioning.
naked reels
You know, I've got, yeah, oh yeah, Nudie. I got to tell you guys, we have so many air conditioning commercials that we literally have to put one in each spot block in order to keep separation.
Hey, Ian.
I have to play one before the news and one after the news.
Most stations don't
Yeah.
separate them. They'll do them in the same spot block.
We don't do that. We try to keep the principles or the disciplines, whatever you want to call it, separate as much as we can. We try, even like I try not to put an optometrist next to a chiropractor, because it's just not good radio. You want to keep some separation. And
I think you should put a psychiatrist next to a proctologist.
I think I should too. Yeah.
Hey,
That's
Ian.
why maybe they'll figure out why they're all shit crazy. Do what?
Proctology.
Ian, I sent you some pictures to your email. Can you pull those up later?
Yeah, I probably can. Let's see here. Let me see what I can do here. Yeah, let me pull those up real quick.
It's on my backyard.
Man, we got thunder. We got thunder getting closer here.
I'm
Well,
here.
Rick, while Ian is navigating, you were about a 4.4 or 4.7 yesterday on the 80-meter net. Were you able to copy down there?
Yeah, well, see, I've been using the web SDR receiver up in Dahlonega. So I've been cheating because the funny thing is, you guys can hear me up there a little bit, but I can't hear you at all on the receiver down here, so I just use that. That's how
You
I'm-
said the Deloniger SDR?
Yep, websdr.com, I think it is. What is it? Websdr.org. But it's a whole
Okay.
bunch of those that are tied together, and you go in and go to the it's the one for the Lumpkin schools.
Oh, I've used
Okay,
that WebSDR. That one works pretty good, actually.
Yeah, that's a good one.
My favorite one's that one out in Utah, man. That thing's a firecracker.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Okay, I got these. Who was that wanted me to show the pictures? Is that
Ken.
Ken? Okay, Ken. I believe this is your backyard. Let's see here. Let me pull up the screen.
Well, you can go ahead and you can go ahead and take a break, whatever.
Okay, let's do that. Let's. That's a good idea because I see I made a promise and didn't keep it. So let's do that. Let's take a break, guys. Let's go ahead and take a break. We'll take about 6 or 8 minutes. Talks amongst yourself. Mute your mics if you're going to walk away. And we'll be back in about 6 or 8 minutes. So there's no rush. So we'll be right back.
Here's something to drink.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We'll be
My
right-
kingdom for a soundbite of a toilet flushing.
Hey, don't.
You know what? I am so resisting putting a button bar up here because it'll just get me in trouble. Because it'll be the Price is Right sad too, but most of the time, that's my favorite one.
Well, hey, I'm gonna be here for the rest of the TechNet, but I'm not gonna be with the camera or microphone. So this is me kind of like halfway signing off, just because I'm not gonna be able to have the mic on. I'll wait for Ian to get back, but I want to say
We understand, Joseph. Are you enjoying yourself?
that. Yeah, I've had a pretty good time here. It's the weather. I like the change of weather. It's actually cool outside. I was sitting
You-
outside for the last 30 minutes or so. It was pretty nice.
And have the, excuse me, have the trees started to turn?
Not yet.
Okay, okay.
Because
How
during the-
close are you to New Orleans? Are you 8 hours away, do you think?
I don't know.
All right, so are you north or south Alabama?
North, very, very north.
Okay, 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 so. And did you see on your drive up any evidence of the last hurricane that went through?
No, I did not. We didn't.
Okay,
We didn't drive through Louisiana. We went up from Florida through the Panhandle straight into Alabama. But there wasn't any. I didn't see
Okay,
any
okay.
evidence of hurricane damage. I mean, by the time the storm got up into Alabama, it was mostly just rain, just a whole bunch of rain. There wasn't really much wind by the time it got
Okay.
here, but yeah.
And where you are, do you feel you have good radio connectivity, or is it kind of sparse?
That's the weird thing. So in the town I'm in, it's everyone here is really technical. This is where the like the Apollo rockets were built, and a whole lot of stuff went on here that deal with that, if you know where that is.
Yes.
And so the ham scene here is interesting because I see a lot more cars with ham antennas, and we actually have a store called Gigaparts, which is like a great ham store, and we have a lot of repeaters.
Are you lucky?
Yeah, I know. I went there today. It was really fun. But the weird thing is that the repeaters themselves, at least on the VHF UHF side of things, are really inactive, and we think part of it is because of in Florida, a lot of people are retired, so they can, they're not at work. They can be, or they have a more flexible schedule, so they can actually be on the radio during work hours. But here, we think that a lot more people are busy during the day, and that's why we don't hear them. But I didn't hear a whole lot of activity at night either. So I don't know. It's kind of strange. You see a lot more evidence of ham radio, but you don't necessarily hear it. So I'm still trying to figure out what the deal is.
Now, can QRZ or QRZ help you with that, in the sense of, I would think that you could get some indication by the grid squares. Think of using that program to assist you. Or have you found a local ham club? Even if you're there for a month and a half, hams love to talk to other hams.
Well, there are a couple ham clubs here. The one I've mostly been interested in is actually a club it was the Tennessee Valley Youth Amateur Radio Club.
Yes.
And the issue is that the members in there weren't that active. It kind of fizzled out when COVID hit.
Okay.
So that's kind of all the attention I've really given to clubs around here. I know we have a couple of really popular clubs here. I just haven't really got involved with them that much. But on QRZ, I have looked up some people here, and actually there's a map, and maybe next week we'll have it as our website of the week, but it was a map that showed hams on like a graphical map where you could actually see.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Yes, I use that to explain ham radio to a colleague who lives on the other side of the state, and she's new to Florida. And when she realized what it was, she also became interested and has gone ahead because of that. So yes, it's a great map, and you can enjoy that. Did the Tennessee Valley Youth Club have a reasonable website?
They did. They had a great website, but it has since gone down, I believe. I tried to find it a few days ago and I couldn't find it.
Oh, because I was going to say, check the webmaster. They're as interested as you are about all things like that, and that.
I have the funny thing is actually the guy who founded it is a friend of mine, and we've talked on the radio and we text each other every now and then. And we're actually going to meet for lunch somewhere, we think, next week, to talk about ham radio, and possibly I want to talk about starting a new club or trying to get them back into radio a little bit more, because we're going to meet with some of the club members who were there when it was a thing. So I'm very involved with their, or at least I know them pretty well, and I've talked to them a lot. So it wasn't a big club. I think it only had about 6 members tops.
Right.
And that's probably one of the reasons why I didn't. It was annoying because like it's the Youth Amateur Radio Club, so everyone was pretty much my age, and that was really cool. And when we first came, we come here every now and then, every couple months or so. And when the first couple times I came down, they seemed like they were really active. And then later I heard it was dissolved, and I asked them what happened, and apparently no one was really that energetic about it. And then COVID came, and then they didn't even try to like meet in physical locations, and so they just kind of gave up.
Yeah. Well,
but I don't know. I'm hopefully we're here a lot. So if I can be a part of starting something here, maybe we start our own little branch of the tech team or something up here, and that would be a cool idea. And I'm definitely going to tell them about the TechNet.
So
right, that's a great idea.
So Joseph, where in Alabama are you? What city?
Huntsville, Alabama. It's where the Apollo stuff was done. I think they call it Rocket City.
Okay. You got there too late for the big swap fest. That's like the third
I
largest
know.
swap fest in
The
the.
biggest ham fest in the country.
I know, and I'm
Yes, and that was well represented on YouTube also. A lot of the YouTube guys went to that ham fest for that reason.
I need to find some of that. I haven't seen any of that yet. But yeah, we were originally planning to go, for the actual ham fest was one of the reasons why we were going to come. And then we just kind of forgot about it. I mean, I remembered it. We knew about it, but then there was other stuff going on with the hurricane season and things. So we just didn't think it was a good time to go.
Right.
Well,
Now but maybe next year, hopefully next year.
You missed it by about a month.
Yep, I know. I'm sure it would have been nice to go, but
well,
sometimes this doesn't work
I
out.
did go. I did go, and there were youth activities and things like that. They're not really applicable to me, but the Huntsville Ham Fest was good, but attendance was down, which is to be expected, and
Yeah.
the vendors in the boneyard were somewhat down. But yes, Huntsville is traditionally a really good ham fest. And like I say, there was some a good emphasis on youth. Dallas, did you go over to Huntsville this year?
No, I did not, because way too many of the vendors were dropping like flies.
Yeah.
And my wife just barked at me. So I said, no, I'll just go down to the one in Orlando or Tampa next time, because
Oh
Stephen
yes.
Paul, whatever we want to call him, he's my brother-in-law. He's down there, and you're a neighbor of mine. You're only 10 point something miles from me.
Yeah, I
Anybody
know,
know
you
about
live
the upcoming Melbourne Ham Fest?
What was
Only
that,
that it's
Joseph?
happening, Joseph, only that it's happening.
Say that again. What?
Only that it's happening. That's what we're
Oh,
aware
yeah,
of.
okay. Yeah, I don't know. That's happening October 8th to 9th.
Now there is going to be hopefully a quote Stone Mountain Ham Fest, which actually is at the fairgrounds in Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Yeah.
I have no idea what to expect.
Gwinnett County Fairgrounds.
It better be big, because I've got folks coming from Texas for it.
That's great.
That's usually the biggest ham
It's
fest.
it's right here in my backyard. It's only 6 miles from me.
Well, anyways, guys, I'm going to be here for the rest of it in the background, but I'm going to have my camera and microphone off just because I'll be in the room with somebody else. So goodbye, everybody.
You have a good week, Joseph. We'll see you next Friday.
You too. We'll
Yep.
see you then.
Thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate it. We'll see you later. We'll talk to you when you get back. All right.
See you, Joseph.
All right. Let's get back to just real quick. We'll just do a quick check of the weather here. Oh my goodness. This storm over North Fort Myers is growing in size, and it's right over me here. I'm the worst of it's northwest of me, but anyway, it's interesting. It's raining pretty hard here right now. All right, we've got some lightning, but it hasn't been too bad. Let's go back to this now. Okay, go ahead and tell us about this.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. I know that probably there's an answer for at least everybody that's on the net tonight, but I'm just starting to kind of make an antenna plan here. And this is my backyard, and I have access without restriction to the next yard that you're seeing as well. If you want to put up the other two pictures, that's the window that I would want to run the coax through. I rent, so I don't want to drill through the wall. What I'm thinking is raising the window, unlocking the window, raising it a couple inches, and putting another piece in there to be able to run the coax through. I'd appreciate some opinions on that. I have 3 sections of galvanized fencing, the top section of galvanized fencing, so about 24 feet, and I have a J-pole attached to that. And I need to decide whether I would put that right alongside the house and affix it to the soffit, or if I should get it away from the house and put it on the fence line. So I'd like some ideas, some opinions about that. That would mean probably burying the feed line, and whether it's better to have a shorter feed line or to have the antenna farther away from the house. So I'll just throw that out for now.
Are you talking UHF, VHF, or are you doing an HF antenna?
Yeah, I'm about 2 weeks or so from taking my general test. I've been studying diligently. So I have the J-pole and I have the Angelo's 6-meter wire antenna. And then I'm going to need some kind of an HF antenna. I don't have a lot of resources, so probably something in the wire variety. And that fence line is north-south.
Okay.
So I don't know what kind of an antenna would give me the best propagation north-south if I ran it along that fence line.
Well, go back to that first picture where it showed the pine trees. Those pine trees way in the back that look like 80, 90 foot tall.
Yeah, I have access to that. That's a vacant lot. And I could do an end wire or whatever, if that's what you're thinking.
Yep.
Yeah, you might
Yep.
want to do
You can do an in-fed half-wave dipole. You launch something over the top of that so that you can pull that. That's one end of it. And then whatever's behind whatever that picture is, you find something 10, 20 foot in the air, and that becomes your antenna. And it's not a dipole where it radiates off the sides like you normally would think, because it's only a dipole on one band and it's got multiple lobes on the other bands. And since one end looks like it's going to be lower than that tree, it's just going to radiate, and it's going to be lopsided. But it's going to get you on the air.
get you on the air.
If you can get one end up about 30 feet and the other end is at 80, as it droops, that antenna will get you on multiple HF bands.
Yeah.
Well, so should I put my J-pole mast over at the fence line then and use it as the attach point for the end fed?
You could, or you could bolt it to the side of the house, and then you got one line going out to the trees, and you got one end at the house, and then from the back side of that, you can anchor it to something.
Now, what are you gonna do? Put a pole out at that white fence out behind your house and run it over to the tree? How are you gonna do that?
Well, that's what I'm asking is, should I put my J-pole mast out there at the fence, or should I put it right at the window and attach it to the soffit?
I
What
put
band
it
is
out
the
there-
J-pole for?
My personal opinion.
VHF. 2 meters, 70 centimeter.
Yeah, and is it a copper cactus J-pole, one made out of copper tubing?
Yes.
That's awful heavy. I know it's cheap and it's bought and it's paid for. A
It was
fiberglass
it was a gift to me, so
Yes, but they're heavy. When you go to put that up on the top of those 3 fence posts, fence rails, that's really heavy.
Yeah.
And then the wind's going to grab it because you're in Florida, right?
Yeah, I'm in Northport.
Yeah,
North
so
Florida, okay.
the wind's going to grab that thing and be falling around, and you're going to need guy wires on that, and that looks ugly.
Here's my suggestion. Since you're going to be using the J-pole for 70 centimeter, you probably want it nearer the house
Yeah.
to save run of coax, save loss of the line. So my suggestion would be get you a 10-foot piece of mast pipe and an eave bracket, and just stick the bottom of the mast pipe down in the ground. I wouldn't even dig a hole or anything, just as far as you can muscle it down. Put an eave bracket there on the soffit of the house and be done with it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. I have 3 sections. I don't have to use all 3 of them. I think they're 8-foot sections, maybe 10-foot sections.
You could probably do 2 10-foot sections without having to guy it. I don't think I'd go 3 without guying it, but
Okay.
you could probably do 2 pretty safely, and that would get your J-pole up in the air plenty high enough to work local repeaters and 2 meter and 70 centimeter stuff.
That's all gonna be local.
Right, I understand. Now, I was going to kind of tee off of that about 3 feet and put an eyelet and then hang the 6-meter wire antenna from that. Is that too close to each other, or?
I think so.
You're probably not going to be doing both at the same time anyway.
No.
The one thing I would do, I'd make sure that when you were transmitting on one radio, the other one was off.
Okay.
Occasionally, I've heard of, and I've never had it happen myself, but I've heard of radios being damaged by strong signals with antennas that are very close.
Yeah.
So I'd make sure that one stays off as the
Yeah,
other.
the one that's off, you want to disconnect from the antenna.
Okay.
Now, since you're in Florida, I have another rule about antennas here. Unless you're using the radio, if you're in the house, if you're not in the house, if you got to go to the store or someplace, disconnect all your antennas because of lightning.
Right. No,
Grounding
I hear
system.
that. And that's what I'm trying to figure out is number one, getting the coax in through the window without disturbing I rent, so I can't be doing just anything.
Yeah.
So I think I saw a guy, he just unlocked the window and raised it about 3 inches and got a piece there with, rubber around it or whatever, and ran the coax through that.
I
Yeah.
believe MFJ makes a thing you
MFJ
can
makes
do
some
that.
of it. Yeah.
But you could probably build one yourself, with stuff from Lowe's or Home Depot.
Right.
I mean, it's not a big deal. Just seal it up good so you don't get bugs in the
Yeah.
house.
I have jalousie windows here, as ancient as those are. And what I did was I measured the jalousies, and then I went to this, what's the name of that site? Metaldepot.com or something like that. And I had them make me a couple of aluminum pieces, cut a couple of aluminum pieces that are the size of the jalousie window. And then I ran went and bought some bulkhead feed throughs and put a whole bunch of them in there. So I've got far more antenna feed throughs than I need. But when I get ready to put another antenna up, I don't have to worry about drilling any more holes. You can do something like that. And it looks like you've got a slide up and down type window. So
Right.
the MFJ type,
Another thing,
This is what I bought.
Can you
Yeah.
hear me now?
yeah, that's exactly what I used.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. One of the things you can try is go to Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever, and you'll find some PVC lattice. It's only an inch and a half or something in width, and then you can very easily with a file, a rat tail file or a hacksaw, and you can whittle out the width of the coax cable going through, bring the window down on top of that, and seal it up. I do that in my park model up in Maine. I've done it here in Florida. I drill holes through the PVC. It's a thicker PVC. I close the window against the PVC and take another stick and put it so that the window can't be opened from the outside, and kind of is a security thing.
Yeah,
So
I have to find a way to
it's very
secure it.
easy to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, one of the reasons I'd like to see you run all of this through a metal plate is so that you can have a single point ground plane. In other words, you take all of those antenna lines that go through that window and you hook them to the same ground. And that prevents having you have all your radios at different potentials if you get a nearby lightning strike. They'll protect your radios.
Would that plate be on the outside or inside?
Well, preferably it's the best thing to have it on the outside.
And then put it to ground?
Yeah, and put that to ground. And everything you run through, every antenna that you connect up goes through that. So they're all grounded to the same place.
Okay.
Now, what kind of ground system you gonna put in? You gonna put in 2 or 3 stakes, or how many?
Well, I'm open to hearing what you think is best. That's a whole nother aspect
What
I
I've
have.
got here, right now, I've got 5 8-foot ground rods all tied together, and they're tied to the Florida Power terminal, and they're also Florida Power and Light, that is. So they're tied to the utility company, to the old cable TV come in, and the telephone. All that stuff needs to be bonded together. So
So one ground, a single ground wouldn't handle it.
No, single ground rod, I wouldn't think so. You really ought to take and run 3 or 4 would probably be all right. Now, I've got 5 here. I've run them across the back of the house. I'm planning on living here for some time, so I don't plan on leaving anytime soon. So I went ahead and put a little money went out to the Home Depot and bought me several 8-foot copper ground rods, those big 5/8 inch ground rods.
Okay.
And you drive them in the ground, about between 8 and 10 feet apart, preferably about 10 feet apart. You might want to take a look at the grounding and bonding book if you can find that. So the league put it out. But, I'm just trying to keep you from if you get a nearby lightning hit and you've got radios in there and you're going to have the potentials jumping all over the place, and you're going to have some damage. So you want to make sure you've got the single point ground plane when you run all those lines in from outside.
One other thing about lightning protection.
Yeah.
When you disconnect the coax, also disconnect the power. Anybody that's ever worked in a radio shop can tell you that they see as many lightning damaged radios that were damaged on the power as on the antenna. You think about it, you think about that big antenna sticking up there in the air, but then there's this whole grid of electrical lines for it to hit, and it could be hitting 2 blocks away and still bother you. Mm-hmm. So always, if you disconnect the antenna, disconnect the power as well. And even if any peripherals, if you've got a USB to the computer or something, disconnect that, because the best lightning protection you can have is total isolation.
Yeah. I was actually just going to say the same thing. I can't afford what these guys are talking about right now. I mean, I'm still doing this. I've only been doing this a year. I can't afford to go get all these lightning rods and do the CAD welding and all this other stuff and put in the plates and all that. I'm planning on it. So what I do is, this is how poor people protect their stuff. I went and bought some of these. They're just quick connects.
Yeah.
I hook my, I just dropped the damn thing. I hook my antenna up on that end. And then on this end, I just stick it into the radio. And when I leave, I unplug it and I snatch them up, and I got a hook on the wall, and I literally unplug my 3 or 4 antenna leads, and I bring them up and I hang them on that hook on the wall, so they're nowhere near my equipment. And then I have the hot and common coming into my shack, running through switches. So when I'm done here, I have one hot circuit That hot circuit goes into a large uninterruptible power supply battery that then runs my 7 computers. Everything else in this whole shack feeds through power switches, both on the hot and the common. And I did that on purpose when I wired the shed. So when I flip my switches off, I've killed power hot and common. The only thing that's still connected is the ground. And then I pull my quick connects and hook those up on the hook. And then I even go so far as ran my internet cable through my uninterruptible power supply and all that stuff. I've tried my best to isolate as many things in the shack as I can isolate, because I can't afford the proper protect. And I'm gonna tell you something. Just when you think you've got enough lightning protection, it still only saves your crap 50% of the time. I'm telling you, the best. I was sitting in dispatch at Lee Control in the old emergency operations center, the one with the dirt piled up on the side. And I was in there and I was sitting at the Fire One console, and lightning struck the tower outside, and I heard it come down the tower. And I went like this with my hands, and because I knew what was happening. I knew we were getting struck. Everything got really bright and then really dark and really bright again. It was really strange. Our dispatch center took a direct hit. What is that? Okay, whatever. So I knew we were getting struck. Gina, who was a friend of mine at the time, was sitting at the call screener position. And when it hit, she had her headphone on and it was hooked to her shirt. Oh, no. And it went through her headphone, and she had 1st-degree burns all along her underwire in her bra. She had 1st-degree burns on both ears. She had a little bit of 2nd degree on the one ear. It knocked her unconscious. She got transported to the hospital. It blew out our consoles. It blew out our radios. It blew out everything in there. They had spent hundreds of thousands of dollars putting down 60 and 80 ground rods and connecting them all with large cables over this field. All this is still there, by the way. And they CAD welded every single one all the way around, and they all make a big circuit, and they all are interconnected. And then they all connect to this big tower that has these big things run down into the ground and everything else. And the bottom line is, when it came down, it didn't just blow out our equipment. It blew out the large power transformer that powered our equipment. And this is everything we had in there was 100% protected. FP&L had their stuff in there. Everybody, Motorola had their best stuff in there, protecting all our transmitters and all our receivers. And you know, the bottom line was, it got us. In the years I worked there doing different things out of that EOC, they took 2 lightning hits, and both times it took them off the air. So the bottom line is, like, who was it that said that? John, I think, said that. The only way to make sure is to unplug it and get the plug away from the back of the radio. So, and then unplug it and unplug it and unplug it so that there's nothing connected to it. And one other thing on the window, something I learned. You think, okay, I got this cool little piece that I made so that it'll go and the window will close into it. And I got a little piece of foam to go on there, so it's going to seal and everything's great. Don't forget, the top of the window is going to be open up there. You're going to need to buy some white foam, little sticky tape white foam like they use with window air conditioners and stuff. You can buy that in a roll. Buy it so that once you get your window all set into place and everything, you want to stick a little piece of white foam in there that you won't even see because it's the same color as the window frame, and stick it between the, it would be the top part of the fly piece of the window where it comes into the glass up here. There's going to be a gap right there. Because remember, when the window comes all the way down, it seals all the way around. When it's up a little bit, there's now a gap at the top too, and you're going to lose a lot of your air conditioning. So just get you a little bit of white foam to go in there too while you're out at the hardware store. Anybody have anything else to help him out with this install?
Well, I'm going to say something about that foam. If you buy the foam that you would put around a pipe, it comes in about an 1.5 inch diameter. You can get that, and you can just push that between that metal frame and the glass, and it's not sticky, and you can wedge it in there to where it will stop all that wind from blowing up through there. And you don't have to worry about that sticky crap when it's time to move. Because I've had to put many of antennas through there, and the simplest thing I've found for the bottom is just a chunk of 2x4 or 1x4, and you just drill a hole and run your coax through it, and then you either use great stuff or putty and stop the wind from whistling through. And to me, the lightning arrestor, you get the kind that you it's got the little nut on the side of it for running to a ground wire. Well, you run that wire outside to the stake that you stuck in the ground, and you ground that puppy outside, and then all you bring in is that one piece of coax. A lot of folks like to try to put a metal piece underneath that window and have all their cables tied off and right there. No, you want the distance between where the lightning goes closest to the ground. That's where you want your ground wire, and then you can come back up into the house.
This is what I use.
The only safe place to be with the lightning strike is in a submarine at about 300 feet below the surface. Anything else is not grounded. None of my Navy ships were grounded. And one of the worst things that you can ever see is when you've just left the ship, watch lightning strike the mast about 6 times. Pa-pow, pa-pow, pa-pow. Yeah, lightning never strikes the same place twice. Well, it struck my ship 6 times.
Folks that run the Empire State Building.
Yeah, that thing gets struck like every week.
Yes.
What was that, Rick? You had some kind of a lightning arrestor or something?
Yeah, so lightning. This is one of these Alpha Delta lightning arresters. Like I said, I don't count on these. I always keep the radio disconnected. My purpose in having these is if for some reason I've got the radio still connected, maybe this will provide a little bit of help. But they're also required, I believe, by the electrical code. So that's another reason I put them in.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate the information. That's a big help. Thanks, Ian.
All right. Yeah, and I try not to discuss the electrical code around my shack. It gets offended.
Yeah.
All right. That's about it. That shower in North Fort Myers is moving down towards Fort Myers City now and into the city downtown, but it's weakening. And then there's another strong one on the north end of Pine Island starting to kick up now. So it's weird. It's hanging on late tonight.
I can't believe
So,
here it is.
I don't know what the
September,
deal
this
is
stuff's
with
still
the
going on.
these
It's acting
storms. So
like
just to kind of give you an
August.
idea, there they are, and they're just kind of transitioning a little bit to the south, but
Yeah.
not really that much movement. Okay, let's open it back up. Does anybody have anything else right now? If not, we'll go on to news, and then we'll come back and we'll hit it again. Okay, let's do some news. Let's see here. All right. There we go. This just in. All right, ham radio news. First of all, contests are no longer doing a long time on contests. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to list them for you real quick. There's 2 this week. There's the main QSO party, and then there's the CQ Worldwide DX contest on RTTY. So there you go. And there's a local event coming up. Charlotte County has an antenna testing event. They're inviting anybody to come. You don't need to be a member of CARS, which is kind of like that with everything with ham radio. That's one of the things I like about ham radio, at least most of the time, is all the clubs are cool and everybody works with everybody, and you're always welcome to go to other clubs' things, and I like that. But this is they're doing mostly handheld equipment, but you can bring all your different antennas and test them. They're going to have a bunch of different testers out there and all that. But that's coming up on October 2nd. If you want more information on this or any of this stuff, just send me an email. I'll fire it back off to you. Or if you sign up for our newsletter, you would have gotten this morning in the newsletter. POTA announcements. POTA made several announcements this week, two of them actually. The first is they're excited to announce that they've recently added over 1,000 parks to the Parks on the Air system. And for the last several months, they've had a small contingent of volunteers that were combing through requests to add additional parks, validating those requested parks meet the criteria for inclusion into the POTA and formatting the list so that it can be added to the system. So they finally got all that done. So they've added 1,000 new parks. Now, I don't know if any of those are around here, but I'm just, for those of you who do POTA, you may want to check. Also, they now have formalized their support desk, and they're trying to be a little more responsive when people have problems with POTA. So if you guys haven't done POTA, there's no paperwork. You can be a hunter out there, and you don't even have to fill out anything or sign up or anything or do anything. And then in all the stuff, the contacts you make will pop up later, and you can, you know what I do? Sometimes I'll make a contact on POTA, and I won't even put it in my logbook. I like to make phone contacts on POTA sometimes, and I won't even log it in my logbook. And then I'll come home later that night and I'll log it in my logbook because it's on the POTA list. It's on under my call sign in POTA. And I can just look it up and there's all the information and I can just pop it in my log real quick as a phone contact. Oh, I love POTA. Join and support your local Aries group. I am a member of CC Flares as well as the Lee County Alert Group here.
Hey,
And
Ian,
I
let's
think it's
back up for a
important for
second.
everyone to be active in Aries. And so if you haven't thought about it, think about it. You do not need to be, you know, I was a firefighter and a dispatcher and all this stuff. You know what? None of that matters. When it comes to Aries, they train you what you need to do. And it's really good stuff. We don't get used much, but when they need us, man, they need us. All right, we're back to this. Bring your topic. Does anybody have any topics right now?
Yeah, John had something for you.
Yeah, Ian, let's back up to POTA for a minute. First of all,
Go ahead.
I thought you guys were coming out Saturday morning. I figured we'd see you.
No, that's too far for me right now.
Oh, not really. We had a good activation, though. It was a real good time and made lots of contacts and did some good outreach. And there's another one coming up. Let's see, Friday and Saturday, October 22nd and 23rd, up at the Cubs or Boy Scout reservation on Vermont Road. What is Camp Miles? And
Ooh, that sounds a little more interesting. I like it. I like driving out that way.
yeah, and
That's way up there, though. That is it. It's the Boy Scout camp or the Girl Scout? The Boy Scout.
Boy Scout camp. We did.
That's the one way up there. You go up to the traffic light there at Vermont Crossing, which is 31
Right.
and Vermont Road, and you make
Right.
a left, and it's down on the left.
Yeah, we went up there a couple of years ago for a JOTA event, and you know, it had a great time and good place to set up there. And there is a Cub Scout event going on up there, so we'll have the opportunity to showcase the Cub Scouts a little bit. But that is also on the Babcock Web Preserve, so it's got a POTA number. So we'll be actually doing the POTA activation for the Babcock Web, but also doing a little showcase for the Scouts.
Oh, that's cool. All right. Well, yeah, I tell you, POTA is something that I've gotten somewhat interested in. I've been doing some stuff. I'm trying to see. I can't remember how to change this. I don't remember. Anyway, I'll show you guys. This is for those of you who've never done POTA. This is the POTA website. It's this shows you all the people who are currently activated. There's a lot of them out tonight. And this shows you how long ago they were just heard just seconds ago. What's cool about this is you can actually go there right now and find these people. Now he's on FT8, he's on CW, he's probably on phone. That's a phone frequency. So you just kind of go through and you find one you want to try to make contact with. See, that's a phone frequency. You go to that frequency and see if you can hear him. And a lot of these guys are QRP. I mean, you really got to work at it. It's just not going to be easy. But I can usually find them. And then once you make contact, like let's say, like I said, you didn't even write it down. You come home later, and what you can do is go up here and go to my logbook, and it will actually show you all of the contacts that you've had on the system. No data available. Why is that?
Probably because you're not logged in.
I am logged in.
Oh, you are logged in. Okay. I stand corrected.
That's weird. It doesn't show. Well, yeah, there it shows my QSOs there. There's my stats. And now, and I want you guys to understand, all this is generated. I never did a thing. The only people that turn in paperwork or fill out anything are the activators, the people at the parks. So you can be a hunter all day long in your shack at home, and there's nothing you have to do but just make contact and tell them 7-3, and then it pops up on here and you can log it later.
I still log them all, and the page you were on earlier, I try to respot them because that can make a big difference. You know, people watch these
Yes.
spots, and so if I work one of them, I respot them.
Yeah, and I'll show you what that. Oh, there you gotta change it to from hunter. You gotta change it to hunter. That's what it was. There's my log. There's all my different contacts I've made, and what he's talking about, a respot. Let me show you what a respot is. Okay, when you look at this, the reason it says last heard 0 minutes ago is because someone respotted him. If I hear him, I don't have to talk to him. I just need to hear him. And I hit respot. I click that, and then I just fill out this little form right here, which basically comes up already filled out for me. If you've got rig control and everything, see, it thinks I'm on FT8. But anyway, it'll come up with as much of it as it can come up with, and then you just type whatever else, and you hit spot. Now, I'm not going to do it, but you hit spot, and what it does, it lets everybody know that this guy was just heard on that frequency, and then it keeps rotating the newest ones to the top of the list. You know what I can't stand is the way this looks on here, and I really wish that it was the other format, and I forget how to do it. Oh, here it is. Table view and late shift. Those are the two things I always like to do. Now, isn't that much better? Now, here's
Ian,
yeah.
clarify then, why should I respot someone that's in the park?
Because what you're doing is when you
I don't understand.
when you click respot, you're letting all the other people know
Yes.
that you just heard them on that frequency. It's to rotate them back to the top of the list and confirm to people out there that that they're being heard out, and where they're being heard from.
Okay.
And you can see here,
Okay. Thank you.
I'm trying to think.
Lynn, if you go down the left side of the list, you see one's 0 minutes ago, one's a minute ago.
Yeah.
A couple 2-3 minutes ago, 4 minutes ago, and people can go look at that and see where these people are working and how long's it been. If it's been an hour since somebody's worked them, chances are they're not there.
Okay.
If you see somebody that's been in the last 5 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever, they're still pretty actively working. So the same as any spot, it tells you there's somebody out there working at and what frequency they're on, so to help you find them.
I see. Okay, that explains it. Thank you.
Yeah, and it works great because that way we're all letting each other know instantly which ones are being actively heard right now on the frequency. And the other neat thing is, if you're looking on FT8, it'll say CQ POTA and then the call sign. And so you'll know. I generally will always jump on a POTA contact first, no matter what, unless it's like some new crazy thing. But I normally, even if it's a zone I already have and everything else, I still want the POTA. I want to get the POTA log on my log. So I will start trying to get them. And remember that sometimes POTA people will have a lot of people hunting them at one time. So you have to kind of be patient and keep hitting them and hitting them and hitting them. And a lot of times I'll call them a little bit. I'll call them 3 or 4 times on FT8. If I don't get anything, I'll back off. And then what I'll do is I'll wait until I hear them again. And then I'll move my slider up or down and try a different frequency. I'm finding more and more and more, John, this is an interesting thing with FT8, because I know you do FT8 a lot. If I get some far distant contact, I look like I'm transmitting in the clear. I wait a cycle and I look, and it looks like I'm transmitting in the clear. But what I'm finding out is we can't see what's on the other side of the guy that we're calling.
Exactly.
And so what I do is I move to another clear space and try again, and another clear space and try again. And I'm having luck with that.
Yeah. Actually, Ian, I haven't done any FT8 in a month or two. I've been doing a lot.
Sorry to hear that.
I've been doing a lot of phone recently. You know, phone's
Really?
still my yeah. Sideband phone is still my first love. You know, as far as
I don't know who you find to talk to on there, but
oh gosh, I worked just before the net, within 20 minutes before the net started tonight. I worked at least 2 different POTA activations and something else odd too. I don't have my log up now, but something else odd too. So a couple of, what was it, last weekend, I guess, was the Texas QSO party.
yeah.
I worked I worked a station. Their call sign was N5 Uniform Delta Echo. N5 UDE. And it was the Texas Naturist Club or something like that.
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
That's Bob Redowdy.
You
I
know,
Bob.
when I put that call sign into my log and it brought up who it was, I had to get a chuckle out of that.
Yeah, I know Bob and his twin brother.
Oh yeah?
Yep. Bob Redowdy. Yep. He used to be the club treasurer for Williamson County Amateur Radio Club for like 12 years in a row.
Well, there you go.
Yep. That's how small the ham radio world is. If you've
Yeah.
been around and go to a few different places, you remember people.
Oh yeah.
It is a small community.
It is.
I was just telling somebody the other day, they're like, why is it taking 10 months and taking you so long to get the word out and to get a bigger audience and this and that, and you're putting so much time and working? I said, you know what it is? I said, ham radio is very niche. There's only 1 in 500 people or something that's a licensed ham radio operator, or 1 in 1,000. I said, there's more people that ride horses every week than are ham radio operators.
It might be closer to 1 in a million.
Yeah, it's a crazy, well, yeah, I don't think it's quite that much, but yeah, but it's a lot. It's a crazy number. I don't have the number, but the point is it's a niche thing. And there's only 1 out of every several thousand people that would even be interested. And then to go through those and find the ones that are interested, and then find a way to get the word to them in such a way that they'll check it out and then become interested. So it's there's a lot to it. It's not an easy thing, but you know what? We're not doing it for money. We're doing it for fun. So it doesn't really matter. I just love doing this. I eat this up every Friday night. I love our open line show that we do at work. And then I love to come home and do this show. So I do it because I love it. So it doesn't really matter, but I like to get the reach, because every time we get new people in here, we hear new views and new ways to do things. And you know what I found is ham radio is a little bit compartmentalized, and you'll get everybody in one area kind of does it one way, and everybody in another area kind of does it the other way. And I think this kind of bridges some of that gap, because we bring in people from all over the place. I hope to get more international people. I hope to get people from all over the place that can come in and tell us how they do it. I'd like for somebody across the pond to tell us about 4 meters. You think we can talk about 4 meters? No, just 70 sems. Anyway, I love that accent. It's my favorite one. All right. Trying to see if there's anything new that's come in here. Okay, I don't see anything there. Anything else? Anybody want to bring up anything else at this point? All right, well, I don't see anything there. Let's see what we got over here. All right.
Don't forget the swap meet tomorrow.
So before we get too far, who was it that was, that had, talked to Bob Redouty?
John, I think he may be gone.
Yeah, I don't know
John's
if
still
he's-
on.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Dallas was asking if you had spoken to Bob.
In 5
I'm not sure who the operator was. That's a club call. So, and I'm not sure who the operator was. Let me see if I can open my log up. I don't know. I may have logged the name. I don't know whether I did or not.
Okay, because you got your, you're not telling me who you are. You got your always active just sideband. I don't know who you are.
Right.
I was gonna-
If you read between the lines, that's my call sign, AA4JS.
And that was tonight's quiz.
What is that?
Okay, I'll fix that.
Oh, let's see. I'm trying to
Rename.
see if there's anything else we need to do tonight. Let's see, where are we at on here?
There you go. Better?
There you go. Hey, where's that?
All right. I do want to show you guys one thing that's interesting in the tropics. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. What I found in the survey was several people really loved the tropical coverage and several people really hated it. But we'll try to split the difference here. But I want to show you guys something on this next storm. This one that's down here. I don't even remember the name of this stupid thing. Sam. Okay. Well, I want you guys now. We got this big high pressure system and it's going to form up here.
We
Watch
don't see
this.
it yet.
Oh crap. Thank you. Thank you for telling me I'm not doing the right thing, because I'm not doing the right thing. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so here you guys can now see it there. That's the low pressure system that you see down here in the intertropical. Now, as we come, we're actually just north of that. As we come across, we're going to watch this thing progress. If I can get it to go forward. There it goes. Hey, now I want you guys to watch what this thing does when it comes up here. It's going to pass just north of the islands. Okay. 962, that's about a Cat 2 or 3 hurricane right there. Easily could be higher than that. Keep on going. 945, that's a major hurricane. Look how close it brings this. Look at this. That brings it in up there as a Cat 3 hurricane, somewhere along that upper coast up there. And this model has not been very good this year. But I just want to throw it. This is the Euro.
Oh, this is the Euro. Okay. Because
Now the GFS, which is our best performing model this year, it tends to want to take it a lot further away from the United States.
Yeah.
Notice the change on this one happens a lot earlier. Notice by here, that other one was on the north end of the Leeward Islands there, the Windward Islands. It was right over there. Like the other one was like right here at this point.
Yeah.
So this one has it going a lot further north. And this high like has a fetch up here. It's like pulling it. It pulls it. And they're expecting it to move to the right. Now this model deepens a low over here off the Outer Banks, which is interesting. But as this comes out, look how far this one takes it away. It's like way off. So I don't know, it's interesting to to see when you see two big models like this that are at odds. You guys know how significant a major hurricane in the Northeast is. I mean, that's not good.
Sandy.
Yeah, I mean it's a little softer target up there. They're not as prepared. It's not even that they're not as prepared. It's just different. I don't know. Down here, we live and breathe this crap. You know, we all have a generator in our shed. I mean, it's and not everywhere's like that. You know.
And Dallas, I did not log the operator's name. I'm looking at it, and I didn't log the operator's name, so I don't know who it might have been operating the station.
Well, I've never known him to do very many operators. It's usually just Bob and sometimes his wife. I won't say her name is Sandy.
All
I have
right.
to think about that.
All right, the next thing I just want to run through real quick, and I've shortened this up just a little bit, but I do want to mention it's important. The nets. I'm trying myself to get on the nets as much each week as I can. The NTS net in the morning at 10 o'clock, you can get on that. The Sunshine net in Charlotte County, you can get on that even if you're not in this area. You can do that on WinLink. Pharmaceutical net, the Loggerhead net, I really like that. Echolink, yes. And I even put WinLink here. Why? That's just terrible. Anyway, I'll fix that. I still get those two mixed up. I hate the fact that they have to name things like that. Anyway, over here you got Alex, WA4WDV, has a great net over on the Loggerhead net. This is a great one if you're building a Yagi for 2 meters and you want to test it out. That's a good one. It's a little bit of a stretch for some of us over here on the mainland. And of course, some of my favorites here, the 10-meter net. By the way, if you're a tech, you can still do the 10-meter net if you have the equipment to do it, because that's a tech class frequency. The newbie net is good, and of course the two Aries nets. So I just want to bring all this up to you guys. There's all of our digital nets. A lot of these are available for people outside the area. This Fusion net is a great net. He does a great job. Does as topic of the night. He tells jokes. It's great. And if you've got Fusion, you can get into this anywhere in the world. I think it's 21805. However you do that. But anyway, and the $1.25 net, that is currently linked in with 3 other repeaters. So that net's been big lately. You can get on 220, and you can also get on 3 different 2-meter nets, 2-meter repeaters as well. They're all linked together. So that's been a big net lately. And then of course the last 3 here. This is a great one here, Cape Coral Gab Fest. It's simplex. So each time we go around, we tell each other, oh, I can hear this guy good, I can hear this guy not so good. And it gives you a chance to work on antennas, direction Yagis, and see what you can do to get your signal out there better. So it's a great opportunity. If you've got digital TV, SSTV, and you decide, hey, I want to try this out and I can never find nobody to do it with, Thursday night, if you go on that net on the 820 repeater and have your radio all set to go, you can do it. And you can talk to them on your regular VHF FM radio, okay? And you can download the app on your phone and just hold it up to the damn thing the first night. I mean, literally, that's all you got to do. So that's a real fun thing, and they're really nice to help you through it. And yeah, that's it. Okay, we already did the Tropics. If you guys have any old equipment, let us know, because we are looking to put in some remote equipment and stuff. And if we can get stuff donated, if you donate stuff to us for our experimentation and for our services that we provide, you of course then get to use those services. The TechNet newsletter, you guys know all about that. We are up to 70 subscribers right now for the newsletter. Those are not opt-out people, those are opt-in. So those are all people that signed up for it. So I'm proud of that. I'm being told that it's excellent and that it's being sent around to a lot more places too. So I hope it gets a lot of reach. When I send it out, I'll get as many as 10 different replies from people responding to something they read in there. So it's been very positive, and the feedback's been very good. join the tech team if you haven't joined up yet. We're getting ready to have basically our first meeting. We have already had one meeting, but we're going to have our first official meeting coming up real soon. And our repeater that we do for our club repeater to 444-775. Give us a shout. And spread the word about this TechNet. I do appreciate all the work that Dallas and Rick and several others have done out there to get the word out about the TechNet. By the way, I made this on one of those programs I showed you earlier. You know, help us get the word out. If you guys are on a blast out list or a groups IO list or something like that, just pop it on there just one time and see if we can get some interest for the people that are on there. Let's see, and that's about it. Our website has all the latest resources, all that kind of stuff. You guys already know about all that kind of good stuff. All right, and I'm looking for people to bring topics. So just let me know if you have something you want to bring. All right, back to you guys. It's Friday night open lines. Does anybody have anything they'd like to bring up towards, bring up to the net tonight?
Crickets.
Wow,
I hear crickets.
Crickets.
You may
Morning,
have-
Mark. And
yeah, air conditioning.
I don't mean to threaten you guys, but I will go to bed early tonight. Don't you just watch me.
Yeah,
Oh.
don't forget to swap meet tomorrow.
Yeah, the swap shop's tomorrow. I'm gonna stop by. Joseph won't be there. He's on vacation, but I'm gonna go by there and see what's going on. I heard somebody talking about project boxes earlier in here, and I heard somebody else mention something else. Regardless of what you're talking about, they have everything there. One of the things I'm looking at doing, I found this at the swap shop. It's a big old heat sink. Look at this thing. It's huge, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount 4 SDR sharps along, 4 or 5 of them along here. And I'm buying USB 3 extension cables. So out of the one end, I'm going to have all USB extension cables coming out of the one end. They'll bundle and go out. On the other end, I'll have all my antenna cables coming in. Some of those will be a manifold that come into multiple receivers, but I'm going to have 5 SDR sharps on here because, and then this thing is going to mount up above you guys can see my air conditioner up there. My shack is actually a shack. It's a 10 by 14 hurricane rated shed that I bought. And then I finished it out inside. This is going to mount just like that on top of the air conditioner. And when the air comes out of the air conditioner, it's going to blow across these fins, not across them, through them. It's going to blow through the fins. This thing's going to stay like 48, 52 degrees all the time. And those SDR sharps that are mounted up here will stay very cool. And so that's kind of my plan. That's what I've been working on. And I found this at the swap shop. Joe stole it to me. I've been doing a lot with heat sinks. And another thing I did was I got an SDR sharp over here that's kind of running hot because it's scanning 24 hours a day for Broadcastify. So I found a small heat sink and I just wire tied it to the side of it using like zip ties. And it's doing great. It keeps it cool now. It's just some aluminum fins I found and put on the side of this thing. And I just zip tied it on there and it's dissipating that heat at probably 5 or 10 times the rate that the housing used to do. So cool. So heat dissipation it's actually a cool science. You know, it's as a firefighter, you know, I studied thermodynamics. You know, you study the movement of heat and the way it moves and the way it works and the way it affects things. And now that I'm working with all this equipment, I'm finding myself back in the same thing again, dealing with, I need to move this heat from this location to this location. I need to, you know, and so it's a lot of fun. I'm liking it, and I've decided to do this with a manifold. That way, all the antenna wires are going to go right out. I got a port right up there. So all the antenna wires are going to go right out the port. All the USB wires are going to be bundled in. They're going to come down the wall and go right into the 5 different computers that they're going to plug into. Because one of the things I'm going to be doing, I'm ordering an SDR sharp. I've got 3 of them already. And every chance I get, I'm ordering another one. They're $27 a piece. Next thing I'm doing, I'm getting 2 more. And on these, you know what I'm doing? I'm going to scan the Lee County trunked radio system. It takes 2 SDR sharps to do it, but I can actually do it. The digital system, it's a digital trunk smart system. And basically how I do it is I'm going to have 1 SDR sharp plugged into the computer, and all it does is receive the control frequency. They're both hooked to the same antenna, an antenna that's cut for 900 megahertz. Then you plug the one dongle in, and that's your control frequency monitor. It monitors that control frequency 24/7. The other dongle is the one that actually goes to all the different frequencies and receives the actual traffic that's going between the radios of the police and the fire and whatever else. And that's how that works. And so I'm going to be setting that up because I want to be able to not only serve this on Broadcastify, but I also want to set up eventually a second one because I want to have emergency management stuff and all that kind of stuff to where I can monitor it at least here locally. So this is something I'm looking to do, is set up a bunch of these SDR sharps. So I've been experimenting with hooking up multiple antennas to one antenna to multiple SDR sharps. And you know what I found? You still get really good signal. I was kind of surprised. I went and Joe at the SWAT shop, he sold me a couple of these things right here. Okay. It's basically a T. And I take this and I take my little, this is the wrong one, but I take an adapter that goes on there and goes into the SDR sharp. And then I take an adapter on this one that goes into the SDR sharp. And then I hook my antenna up here. And you know what? I don't really notice much loss. It seems like both SDR sharps are getting, it seems like they're both hooked up to a great antenna. So I'm starting to wonder now, can I hook up 2 or 3 or 4 of these to one really good, tall, 40-foot antenna? Because that's what I've basically got going right now. I got 2 SDR sharps hooked up to a 40-foot Ringo Ranger. And they both pick up the 685 or the 820 crystal clear down there, way down in Estero. So I'm thinking that that's the deal, is I don't need 20 antennas. I just need, I'm going to buy me one of those, what do they call those, the scanner antennas? Discone. A discone antenna. Thank you. Thank you. It was Rick. The discone antenna is really good because it's multi-band, very wide spectrum, and it picks up everything. I'm thinking about buying them. They're about 60, 80 bucks for a commercial discone. I can, for under $100, get a discone, put a mast up, put it up 40 feet above the shack, and hook it, bring it down in, and hook it into 4 or 5 of these SDR sharps through a manifold. What? Any thoughts?
Well, and they also make an excellent transmit antenna. Well, I shouldn't say excellent transmit antenna. They're like a leaky dummy load.
They're compromised, yeah.
Yeah, they give you less than something. They
Although
give you like no dB gain, but they get you on the air.
Mine does awfully well on 220.
Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
Could work fine on 220.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the give and take there is the give is you can work almost any frequency on them. The take is I don't think the lobe's always good. It may not put out a good lobe.
It's not that bad of a lobe, but there's no gain on it. But it's incredibly wide band, so you can get one of those for a scanner. It'll take you from 6 meters to 1.2 gigahertz.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a relatively flat SWR across that entire spectrum.
Hey, Ian, when you get a chance, take a look at the chat window. There's a message for you there.
Oh, so Joseph won the SDR giveaway. Oh, that's awesome. So he's going to give me that. That's cool. That remember last week we told you guys that new website was giving away an SDR Sharp. Well, he put himself in for it and he won it.
Awesome.
You got it. Yeah.
As if he needs another one.
You can never have enough SDR Sharps.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have I call it, the program is SDR Sharps, SDR dongles. I should use the proper terminology. You can never have enough. Yeah, there you go. Never enough dongles. Most men only have one dongle. Okay, let's just stop right there. All right, what's next?
So if it's too deep there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't want to go any further with that because we start talking about everybody's dongles.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. Let's move away
Yeah.
from that.
yeah, all the dongles. All right. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to bring?
No, it's too late and it's too early in the morning or too late at night to do all this math. But I did look up how many hams the U.S. has, and I've looked up what the U.S. population is, and I'm now trying to do the math to see if it's like, it's not 1 in a million, but it's it might be 100 out of a million.
You know,
Yeah,
we
it's
got
like 1 in 10,000 or something. It's
around 700,000 hams, and you got 330 million people in the United States around that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever that works out to.
I'd say it's niche,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
Yeah.
That means there's less kids in the pool, which is not a good thing, really. I don't know why I said that.
The thing that got me was when I went to the ARRL site to get a count on how many hams there were. There's just so many that are still novices. Couldn't they have upgraded by now? You know?
Look, I honestly believe right now that probably 1 in 3 people that get their amateur radio license never talk on the air.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd also venture to say that 2 out of 3 people that get their new technician amateur license don't upgrade, don't learn, don't do anything. I don't understand it.
And
They're-
are probably not even active after the first year.
Nope, not active at all.
No.
And I don't care what clubs you join or whatever. I'm just talking about just checking it on the net. It's just, you don't have to do anything. Just be active on the radio.
I was always active, but it was 12 years before I upgraded.
Hmm.
I had a tech ticket for 12 years before I upgraded.
Well, see, a lot of it is everybody that goes to one of those little classes, they're told, oh, you can talk all the way around everywhere with one of these. And
Yep.
you can't. I made sure that Paul got himself, of course, y'all call him Steve because that's what he uses on the screen, that he got a 2-meter mobile. He can't get into y'all's net. And the other club that he's a member of down there, everything they do is 6 meters, and he doesn't have a 6-meter rig, and nobody sells a 6-meter only rig. So if he wants to buy an HF rig, well, I guess there's some quad band FM radios that will get
Where does he live that he can't get into any of the local repeaters?
he can get into them, but he has to be, in his car and in the right place. A 65-watt mobile with the 5/8 wave antenna is not enough. And I made sure he got a powerful radio. But it's, it would have helped if he would have had a metal vehicle with a metal roof, but he's got a fiberglass carbon fiber vehicle with a glass roof.
So he's working against
That doesn't help.
No.
That doesn't help at all.
Yeah.
When
And
you
see,
need-
and one of my radio buddies in Austin, he bought a brand new fancy dancy car, and he went and put his antenna on the trunk like he had on his previous car, and he couldn't hit nothing. And he found out that his trunk was carbon fiber, and
so he
it's
needs
no
a-
working,
some kind.
And we tried all kinds of crap to put a ground plane underneath it. I had to go buy some of that aluminum tape and put that all underneath there to make a ground plane and try to tie that into no, it was Yeah. He would have to put that on the top of the carbon fiber. The carbon fiber has a magnet will somewhat stick to his carbon fiber, but it's not stick on good enough that you could drive down the highway. So when you put your foil tape underneath the carpet stuff that's underneath the trunk lid, it's too far away. The antenna doesn't see it.
Oh.
That doesn't make a good ground plane.
I'll tell you, I've got a little quarter wave on my van, and I got a great ground plane, but I've just got a little antenna. I got to do something better.
Yep.
I got to do something better. And you know what? When it comes to radios, I got to tell you, if you guys ever, I'm gonna, if I ever get a chance, I'm gonna buy another one of these FT100, these Yazoo FT100 Shack in the Box. What a great little radio. I mean, 160 to 440, and it's just a great radio. It's got the two different
Good
wires.
luck finding one.
Yeah, they're not, well, I've seen them. They're still wanting about $300 for them. The club charged me about a fair, that's about what they charged me. It's fair. But those are great if you can find one. And when I start, I have come to the absolute conclusion that I'm going to start going to hamfests and tailgate places and stuff, and just buy used equipment. I've had much better luck with old used equipment than I have newer stuff. So I can't wait to go get some more old, just whatever I can find. I wait till about 10 minutes before the thing closes, and I find somebody that doesn't want to load it back in their car. I tell them I'll give them $25 for it. That's literally what I do. I hate to say it. I go around and I'll mark out like 3 things I want, and I'll wait till like 20 minutes before they end, and I'll go back and hit those guys up. I do that. It works. And you walk up and say, hey, so you didn't sell that radio. You feel like loading it in the car, you're going to sell it to me for $25. And you be surprised, dude. They'll give it to you for whatever. They just they don't want to take it home.
Yeah.
I've gotten some good deals that way.
I imagine.
I'm cheap. All right. Does anybody have anything else?
I don't think anything.
I think I'm done.
Yeah. Don't forget the swap shop tomorrow.
Yeah.
Should be fun. I'm gonna stop by myself.
I don't know whether we're allowed to have those without Joseph, though.
I don't know. Well, we're gonna try. We'll see how it goes tomorrow.
I'm not sure. I don't think it'll be very good without Joseph. I'm not sure it's doable.
Joseph's been doing some work out there. He's trying to get everything organized in there, like get all the mics in this drawer and all the speakers in that drawer and that kind of stuff. And
That
it's
sound
cool.
like herding cats.
He has done
Yeah.
an awesome job of that, though,
Yes, he
Yeah.
has.
in spite of the other Joe.
Joe does all right. I gotta give Joe credit. You know,
Oh, Joe's a good guy. Yeah.
Joe's helped me out quite a bit. So, you know, I think he overcharges every now and then, but that's just me because I'm cheap. I like Joe. Joe's helped me out quite a bit. So, and he, the club will let you pay on time with radios. I don't know if you guys realize that. If you're a member of FMARC and you've got your license, but you don't have a radio, they actually have a radio they'll let you borrow. They got it's a 756 Pro 1. It's very similar to my Pro 2, and they'll check it out for a month so you can try it out. They also have a lot of radios that they'll let you try and then pay for if you want them, and they'll even do payment on time sometimes. You can ask them. So as much as I sometimes complain about different clubs and stuff, I will say the FMARC does good with that, and they
Do a lot of good stuff.
Joe even let a guy take a flex radio to try it and see if he liked it.
yeah. How can you not like that?
You know, obviously it was somebody that was a member of the club and somebody that Joe knew,
Right.
but still, you know, that's an expensive piece of equipment, and it wasn't really our equipment. It was from an estate that had been put in there on consignment. But, you know, Joe knew the guy well enough that he knew he could trust him. And the guy used it a few days and in short order got on PayPal and paid for it. So
There you go.
you know,
I got to tell
it
you one
didn't take
nice
long.
one nice thing about this niche, and unfortunately the gateway that the government has created, the one good side effect is there's very few scumbags that are amateur radio operators.
Yeah.
There's a few.
I've met a few.
Here's a
Not
few.
that many. Not that
Not
many.
Yeah.
Other than the folks that run HRD, there's just not that many.
Howdy hates HRD.
You know, I'm going to modify. I don't know whether anybody has told you this, Ian, but there are a couple of other people that are regulars on this net that I have mentioned that I've developed a drinking game for.
Yeah.
Although I'm not a heavy drinker at all, I've developed a drinking game for the tech net. There are a couple of phrases that a certain individual uses a lot. That the joke is, I take a drink every. The drinking game would be to take a drink every time the individual uses that phrase. So I think I'm going to add to that every time you slam HRD.
There you go. Okay. That's fine. Because every time I think of them, it would help to drink. So I think that's a winner. Chicken dinner. Yeah. It's all right. It's all right. I've had very few bad experiences in ham radio. You know,
and I likewise.
Yeah, pretty much.
you
so.
know,
I've had too many.
I've joined this group and that group, and you may not like the way this group does things or that group does things, but there's plenty of different places to go to do things.
And on the other side of that, I have met some awesome people in it.
Yeah, me too.
Oh yeah.
Made
Me
some
too.
awesome friends.
Yeah.
And
All right.
Pretty much everywhere I've been too. So
I was working over on the East Coast back when I was doing contract work, and I'd seen a posting online about a motorcycle group that was having a ride, and so I showed up and introduced myself around, and I saw this one guy that was talking into his handle. We were parked. We had stopped at a meeting place, and this guy was standing beside his motorcycle and he was talking into his handlebars. And as I got closer, I heard CWID off a repeater. And I thought, this guy's got a ham radio on his motorcycle. Now that's cool.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I walked over and struck up a conversation with him and wound up making a very good friend. And we've been friends now for several years. And his name's Lou Venzel over on in Deerfield Beach, KA4EPS. And he's a motorcycle, and he's the guy that kind of turned me on to having ham radio on the motorcycle. And it's kind of cool riding in a group with a bunch of guys that have radios, because you can all talk to each other and oh, hey, did you see that? And you know, it's pretty cool. And
Right.
but he and I have gotten to be very good friends over the years, and I've learned a lot from him because he's a pretty sharp cookie.
Okay, in Austin, there's a group of hams. I just put it in the chat, msat-tx.org. They're motorcycle enthusiasts, they're ham radio operators, and they're EMTs. So when they have a bicycle event or a fun run or a 10K run or marathon, they marshal the course. Somebody falls, gets hurt, gets banged up. They can get their lickety split, and they are sanctioned by the city of Austin. As you know, they're bona fide EMTs. None of them are paramedics. That word gets thrown out there. They don't like that word because they're not quite that class. And for a short period of time, the city of Austin was seriously thinking about making that a professional thing to have EMTs and paramedics, and kind of like take away some of the motorcycle policemen that they had, because they had a whole bunch of motorcycle cops, and nobody was liking the motorcycle cops. almost to the point that they were gonna, like, they'd almost try to run them off the road.
But boy, they spent a lot of money on those BMW motorcycles they had.
Yes, they did. And but could you just imagine how fast somebody could get to you in rush hour traffic when they can whip between all the cars and get where they need to be?
Yeah, I've never done EMS on a motorcycle. One of the EMS services I worked for had a bicycle team that they'd work special events with, and big crowd events and things. They could respond through a crowd a lot quicker than at a race or different things. They could respond a concert. They could respond through the crowd much quicker than you could with an ambulance. And we even had a gem car ambulance, the little electric cars that Chrysler made. We had one of those that had a stretcher on it and fully equipped. It was siren and a light bar and everything.
And then the other half of what these guys do is they would hold an annual class to have all the hams come out to learn how to pick a landing zone for that helicopter. If you go to their website, you see a helicopter out there by that church. And that's an interesting thing to know what to look for. Park your car underneath the power line so that when the helicopter comes to land, it's like, man, that's a perfect place to land, except, whoa, I can't park there because there's a car and power lines. Yeah.
EMS helicopters are a huge waste of money anyway.
They save a lot of lives in Austin because
I wouldn't say that around here.
That is crap. It
No.
takes them 15 minutes before they can ever lift off the ground. By that, in any metro area, in a truck, you could have somebody to the hospital.
No, not in Austin. You need to look at the city of Austin and how it has
I've
interstate going through it.
I'm familiar with Austin. I've worked in Austin, and I'm familiar with Austin. And I guarantee you that by ambulance, there's probably not a place in all of Travis County that's more than 15 minutes from a hospital by ambulance.
Well, I can honestly tell you guys that we had a med chopper called Air 4. They still use it. It's different chopper now. But the whole time I was a firefighter here, we had Air 4.
Here it's a little different because you got some islands that are inaccessible.
Oh yeah, well that's what I was just getting at. Was it's very different here.
That's it. You can't. It takes a while to run a truck to Boca Grande, but
it takes a real long time to get one out to Usepa.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
From the islands, that kind of skews the demographic a little bit. But in a metro area, when I worked in Indianapolis, Methodist Hospital had their life flight chopper, and they'd come around to all the EMS services and do all this PR stuff. And oh yeah, when you're on a scene, give us a call. And the occasional thing where you were going to have a half-hour extrication to get somebody out of the car. Yeah, maybe, but certainly not worth all the money they spend on them in most places.
Well, and I think even in big metros, a lot of times they're used mostly to get people from way out back into the metro that need trauma care and things like that. I know here it was a big thing. We actually, when they went to night ops, I can remember having to go to classes and having to learn how to park, and we had strobe lights that we had to set up and everything. It was a big deal to do night ops. But I'll also tell you, I mean, we used to get those crashes up at Vermont Crossing up there at what used to be a flashing light up at Vermont Crossing at State Road 31
right,
and
I know
Vermont
exactly
Road.
what you're talking about.
Horrible intersection, one of the most deadly intersections in the state. And we would get 6 or 7 trauma alerts up there at a time. And we would get a chopper out of Tampa and a chopper out of Miami and the med flight from here, from Lee County. And we'd have them lined up coming in because that intersection was 45 minutes from the nearest hospital by ambulance. So it was just, And I'll tell you something else, John, getting them off the ground was always a problem. And what we used to do was they used to have what they call trauma standby. And if you were on the way to a crash, and it's called in as being a really bad crash, a head on, or maybe a fire unit's already there saying it's a trauma alert, they would immediately put that chopper, pull it out to the pad, fire it up, and get it going because of a potential. Of course, there's cost involved in that. I get that too. But they would have that chopper hot on the pad. And the moment that you got there and confirmed trauma alert priority 1, that chopper would lift off and start heading to the scene. The hardest part, as you mentioned earlier, is the landing zone and getting it safely down. But not only if you got to load them in the ambulance to bring them a quarter mile, to unload them and then load them on the chopper and then fly them to the hospital just to unload them again. I agree with John on that. You got to make sure that you're gaining time by the process, or it's not worth it. Yeah. But when it comes to rural areas, those choppers are lifesavers. Yeah. Oh man. And John, they'll use them on little short trips sometimes just to get the hour, just to show that they're using it. But whatever it takes, because when we get that one out there, we need the damn thing, so it has to be there. So whatever it takes to keep it active. We've had med choppers here. We had a little teeny med chopper for the longest time. It only could hold one patient, and the patient loaded in through the back, and it could hold 2 patients technically, but the second patient, you couldn't get to anything but their head. So they really didn't use that second one very often because they sat in like on an angle. Yeah. And you couldn't do CPR in it. If they went into arrest, you had to land. I mean, it was a little piece of crap chopper. And we flew that for years. And then they got the Messerschmitt, and that was a nice one. And that one there, 2 patients, you could work them, you could do whatever you had to do. You could put a third flight person in there if you needed to. Normally it was just a medic and a pilot, but that one had enough room that you could actually put a second medic in there if you needed to. And so it neat stuff. Anyway, long time ago. Don't miss it. I like ham radio. There's a lot less lives that depend on it.
For the most part, I don't either, but I do kind of from time to time. I go through some of my old pictures and.
Yeah, I was on the rig. I was on the rig for 15 years, and then I did my last 2.5 in administration, and I got 7 promotions total. I don't miss it. I did it so much. I ran thousands and thousands of calls, and you have to remember, I was in a department that we only ran a couple calls a day, but I also ran all the off-duty fires too because we were a small department. We all had pagers and even though I was full-time, we never filled out. It was kind of one of the things, we never filled out the overtime things sat in a bin and nobody ever filled them out. Because the first time you filled one out, they would tell us we couldn't do it anymore. So we could all come. And so all the off-duty engineers and the off-duty lieutenants would come in on their days off to help the guys that were on duty because it was reciprocal. It was one of those things we did back then. It was a small department. We had 40 volunteers. We had 7 paid guys, and the 7 of us covered each other. It was one of them things. Anyway, I don't miss it. I did law enforcement auxiliary for a while. Don't miss it. Was a 911 dispatcher and a EMS dispatcher, fire dispatcher. Don't miss it. I was a cop dispatcher early in my career. I was a sheriff's dispatcher when I was 17. I'll tell you something that you're going to find crazy. I was a dispatcher on the 9 to 7 shift. I got off at 6:30 in the morning and went to high school. I was one of those weird kids, dude. Didn't care about nothing. Just wanted to, didn't get laid a lot. Just basically, just all I wanted to do was career stuff, man. I was just very career. You all right there, John? Truth's a bitch. Anyway. Yeah. But hey, it was fun. You know, I did a lot of stuff. There was one time when I was
Somebody just mentioned in the chat window that we're still live on YouTube.
yeah, I don't care. There was a time in my life when I was a full-time firefighter at one department, a volunteer firefighter at the department across the river. I was a special deputy, a fully certified special deputy with the sheriff's department. And I was a lieutenant at the fire station at the fire department on A shift. And I was a part-time dispatcher with leak control at the emergency operations center. And I was on the disaster response team with emergency management. And yeah, I did it all. That's all I did. I was no wife, no kids, had a cat at home I had to go by and feed once a day. That was it. I was one of those weird guys. So you can understand why I'm weird today. I mean, I've always been weird.
I can identify with a lot of it.
Yeah. A lot of people have priorities, you know. Mine was just I like career, man. I liked career. I liked public safety. I like public service, and I love the adrenaline. Oh, I was a junkie. See, I was like, marijuana, cocaine, alcohol. Everybody's got their drug. Mine was adrenaline.
Yeah.
I snorted that shit. I couldn't get enough adrenaline, dude. I loved it. Every time that thing would go off, I'm like, yes, big fire, let's go. And we'd be running down the road, and I'm like, I got restless leg syndrome, you can imagine. And I look down and my legs are bouncing up off the ground about 6 inches in the engine. And I've got mic in each hand. I got my helmet on, siren screaming. I got one foot working the horn and the other foot working the Q2B 1A, winding that bitch up and down. And in the whole way to the thing, I'm screaming, let's go. And I'm adjusting the electronic siren because I don't know what that does. You know what that does? It makes you feel better on the way. You go, bleep, bloop, bleep, bloop, bleep, bloop, bleep, bloop, make all those stupid noises with the siren. Right, John? Doesn't do anything but make you feel better. It don't make.
Oh, you're bringing back some fond memories, though.
It don't do anything but make you feel better. We used to have this one called an interceptor from Federal Signal.
I remember.
You could wedge it between Yelp and high-low, and it would do dog, dog, kitty, kitty. And we used to run all the way to calls and going, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, and it sounded like dogs and cats going, and then we'd be winding that thing up, wah, screaming, honking the horns till the brakes are locking up. I mean, I miss that, but then again, I really don't. I kind of, by the time I got out of it, I'd gotten it all out of my system, I guess, because but there was a time where, man, I would come back I started smoking cigarettes. It was so bad. I started smoking. I'd stop and buy a pack of Newports, man. I had to come down. Oh my God.
Yeah,
God. Whatever, man. They were menthol. It was good. But I had to have, it got so bad. We were like smoking in the engine on the way back and I'm blowing it out the window. I mean, it got bad. I couldn't, because I didn't do drugs. I wasn't a drug guy, you know? So I had to, a lot of the guys did, but I didn't. And, just wasn't my thing. And so when I got back from a call, it was tough. It started with cigars. We would all come back from a big call and the lieutenant would come out with a box of cigars. So when I became lieutenant, I started keeping a box of cheap cigars in my locker. And we come back from a big call, 20 volunteers there, all helping us roll up the hose. I come out with a box of cigars, give away. It became a thing, you know? And then that turned into a cigarette habit that I had for about 6 or 7 years, and then finally just one day decided this is stupid. And I decided I went and saw a shrink and got on some meds, and that was a lot better than the cigarettes. Yeah. So, and now today, no meds, no fire service, no drugs, and I'm still fine.
Yeah, I used to smoke a cigar once in a while. I never did get good and hooked on cigarettes, though, like a lot of guys do.
You want to hear something? Never got hooked on the tobacco. Even though I did it all the time, I could literally, I go on vacation for a week to the mountains and wouldn't smoke the whole week. I didn't need to. It was a fire department thing. It was when I was there is when I had to do it. Isn't it weird how that works? The tobacco never had me. It was, I needed that. That was my, okay, it's over. Because if you guys have never done it, these guys are junkies for the adrenaline. I'm telling you, it's what it is, man. It's crazy. But anyway, I love it. I loved it. I'd never do it again. I wasn't in shape for it back then. I certainly am not in shape for it now.
Yeah.
I couldn't run to the engine at this point. So, yeah.
Honest engine.
Yes, honest engine. Which is better than honest pumper or honest brush truck.
That's true.
So, yes. But anyway, yeah, we used to, man, our department, our big thing at Bayshore, which is where I was a firefighter at Bayshore, 16 years, and then I volunteered for years, so 17 technically, we built our own brush trucks. I built 7 or 8 brush trucks while I was there. I built 3 deuce and a halves. I built 1 5-ton. And we built 2 M561 Gamma Goats. Those were awesome. If you've ever seen a 561 Gamma Goat, you guys even know what that is? Let's see here. Let me put it in here. An M561 Gamma Goat. These were the best brush trucks ever. It was an amphibious all-terrain vehicle, and we found these up at Stark, and but they're called it's called a Gamma Goat, and here's the pictures of it. That thing makes the best brush truck ever.
Oh,
okay?
I'm sure, yeah.
Now, it floats. You immediately take that ability away. We pulled the plugs right out of it so the water could run out. Okay, so you don't worry about the floating part, but this thing would actually float. When the military would use it, you could actually drive this thing in the water, and you would run all 6 tires would run at an idle speed, and it would go about 3 or 4 miles an hour across the water. Craziness. And we got 2 of these things. We made fire trucks out of them. I wish I had pictures of that thing. I do have a couple of them in my book, but I can't get them out easily. Let's see if anybody else has put their fire truck pictures in here. Oh, there's one. There's one that's been made into some kind of European fire truck. I'm sure it goes anyway.
Nino.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, there's another one.
I'm looking for a picture to share with you. It's not a fire truck, but an EMS response vehicle. And I'm not finding it. Darn it. I got it here someplace, but I just don't know.
Ours was very similar to this one here, except our box on the front was more contoured. It didn't look quite as boxy. And we had the bars actually went up over the light bar. So the light bar was protected from the branches. This thing articulates in the middle. Now, it doesn't turn like a trailer does. You think it's a trailer on the back. It's not. It articulates this way, like up and down. And this thing twists in the middle and articulates in the middle, but all 3 axles are transaxles. They all drive. And this thing doesn't get stuck. We would drive this thing 8-foot tall palmettos. You guys know palmettos, right?
Right.
You know how tall they get? We would take this thing. It's got a flat bottom because it's a boat.
Yeah.
We would take this thing and hit those palmettos at 30 miles an hour, and it'd go right up on top of them, and we would drive across the top of the palmettos like Jesus in the water. And just right across it, dude. And then we get right to the other side, and they come right off back into the field again when you get to the other side. People are like, what the hell? It's like, we don't drive. All the other brush trucks are pushing their way through the woods, and we're riding up on top of these palmettos, and people are like, you guys are nuts. I never seen anything like it. These things are amazing. We flipped one up on its side one time. We just pushed it over and kept going. I'm telling you, these things are amazing. And even though that back end is completely articulating and going up and down and doing all this, they've got this like double junction drive shaft system in there. It's amazing. And I loved it. The engine is midships. It's right here in the middle, and it has a 3-cylinder diesel motor. This cowling opens like this, and the motor's down in it's down in a waterproof container. Has diesel tanks on both sides. What an amazing piece of equipment this is. I just love these things. Anyway,
in my Navy days, we had a reserve center that I worked at, and we had an articulating forklift, and that was an amazing piece of gear. You could drive that thing through a ditch after you picked up whatever it was, and it would hold that level. It didn't care what the rest of it did.
Right.
You could go up and over and down and through whatever, and it held that stuff for you. It was no computers. It had little weights and a little sensor that they could tell what was happening out front, and it would adjust everything to keep that, whatever it was that you had on there, on the forks.
That's so
It was
cool.
impressive.
Yeah. So anyway, that was what we did. And we made a bunch of deuce and a half. Let's see if I can just a basic. Yeah, these are actually that's one of ours right there. And that looks like a 5-ton actually. That's a 5-ton. Biggest problem they have with these is the guys would overload them. That's a deuce and a half right there. That's a deuce. That a deuce and a half will hold 5 tons on the road or 2.5 tons off road. And the problem is they would load these things down for road weight and then take them off road. And it would, you know what that does to drivetrains. But we built 3, technically 4 of these actually. We've rebuilt one too, but we built 3 from scratch. We would get them from Stark. Damnedest thing, we would literally just we could go up to Stark as a fire department and walk in and just put our name on something, and they give it to us, or they charge us $500 for it. A lot of times it was nothing. They just write it off and give it to us, and we go back up 2 weeks later and pick it up, drive it home. I can remember driving those Gamma Goats home. One of them broke down. Now what do we do, right? No big deal. We called back up to Stark, said, hey, one of those Gamma Goats broke down. What do we do? You know what he said? Come back up here. I'll give you the tow bar that comes with it. So we drove the staff car that we had back up there. It was like 35 minutes back up the road. We drove back to Stark. The guy gave us the tow bar that came with it. It's a V-bar. And it hooks into the 2 eye hooks on the one you're towing, and then it hooks onto the back of the spindle hitch on the one that's running. And we towed the one with the other one all the way home down the interstate at 45 miles an hour. It took us like 7 hours to get here from Stark. But we got those trucks back, and we made great fire trucks out of them. Anyway. All right, guys, is there anything else? What else we got?
Ian, let me share my screen for just a moment.
You should be able to.
Okay.
It should be allowed. I never turned it off.
Well, share screen.
There you go.
Who can share? All participants.
Yeah, it's up. It's up
okay.
now.
Yeah, there we go. Yep.
Yep, see it.
That's my favorite response vehicle.
That's nice.
We I talked them into buying this thing. They bought this Hummer, and we needed a chase vehicle to run with the BLS ambulances on ALS calls.
Right.
And so we found this white Hummer and went and had it striped, and that sucker had more lights than you could count on it.
Oh, it's got a full size LED light bar and then a half size LED light bar on it.
Right. On the underneath side of the mirrors, you see the little black thing on the fender. just on the front fender sticking up, that was an LED strobe or a fast flash. You know, it was decked, man. It was really sweet, and it was a great PR thing for us. And anyway, that was. I just wanted to show you that since you were talking about response vehicles.
You know, LED lighting is one of the best thing that's happened to the fire service
yes.
and
Oh,
law
God,
enforcement.
yes.
I mean, we used to, our truck had a Code 3 XL double deck light bar on top, and it had the takedown lights, and the flasher lights, and the rotating lights, and strobe lights, and sweeper lights, and all. Our engine, when we bought it from E1, it had a Neoff alternator and a 280 amp alternator.
Wow.
Yeah, that'll like that'll jumpstart a condo.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah,
A
it was
full 100
crazy.
day.
Yeah. So and now you could build that same engine and probably put 120 amp alternator in. It's probably all you would need.
Here's one more screen share. This is our gem car.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We used for special events. This little electric car made
Yeah,
by
that's
Chrysler.
cool.
And for concerts and things like that. The guy in the bicycle helmet is one of our bicycle medics, and or was at that time. This is, well, I'm not going to say, but a while back.
We lucked up. We worked the fair. Bayshore has the Civic Center, so we always used to work the fair every year, and we didn't want to have to buy a specialty vehicle for 10 days, 12 days a year.
Yeah.
It goes from Friday to Sunday. What's that? We're talking 9 days.
Yeah.
It's not worth it to have a special vehicle for 9 days. Luckily for us, there was one of these big dealers in town here that does those like Polaris type things, the little four-wheel two-seater things. And he built them and sold them to EMS people around the country, to EMS agencies around the country. And he always had demo ones, and every year we'd go pick up a couple of those and bring them. Cool. And so we always had lights on it. Some of them had sirens. Some of them even had hookups for radios and stuff, and they were really nice. And what I really liked about him was he would always give us two. They always had a fire version and an EMS version. The fire version, we would actually lay 500 feet, a 2.5 line in it. And on top of the 2.5 line, we had a board that would slide in, and we would lay 2.5 inch pre-connects on top of that. They were already pre-connected to a gated valve, a gated Y. And then if we had a fire, which we did a couple times, we would go wrap the hydrant and just drive this little cart down to where the fire was, and then pull the hose off and just use hydrant. The hydrants were all on a pressurized system out at the Civic Center. There's a pump right there. And so we would get 110 pounds at the hydrant. So we would just fight the fire with hydrant pressure. And we fought 2 fires that way, both generator fires, and out at the fair. But the EMS one was really cool because it always had the receiver and it had a stretcher in it.
Yeah.
And it was nice because you could pull, just like in the EMS unit, there was a receiver with a lock, and you could push the lock in and pull the stretcher out, and you could get your patient. And then the stretcher loaded on the back of the cart, just like it loaded in the back of the ambulance. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And switching patients around was pretty easy. It was good.
That's the same thing we did with the Gem. And it had a 200-watt siren on it as well.
Oh, freak. Like you didn't get sued if you used that thing.
Like you needed that. But
I was going to say, if we were using that at the fair, I'd shove a sock in it. So it'd go, just to get people out of my way.
We did a lot of concerts and sporting events, races. My God, I've worked every kind of race, motocross races, and pretty much every kind of race that you can think of. And so we did a lot of big events like that. And, the Gem car and the bicycle team and all that you needed that stuff to do those kind of things.
See, we only had one big event a year. Everything else was in the building, was in the Civic Center, and you didn't need a vehicle per se.
Right.
Man, we did a lot of everything. We worked down there. If it would normally, any concert down there would be 2 firefighters and 2 medics, and the county would provide the medics and we would provide the firefighters. But if there was pyro, there'd be 4 to 6 firefighters and an engine that had to be there. And then there was certain other things like truck pulls. There had to be, we actually had a Class A pumper, an engine sitting right out back with an engineer sitting with the truck, and it's already pre-connected to the building standpipe and sprinkler system, hooked to the hydrant that's hooked to the pumping system. That was the only way we'd let them do it, because the building was too small, the sprinkler system was inadequate, and it was one of those things where we just wanted to make sure. And so we literally were ready to where if there was a fire, everything was literally already hooked up.
Yeah.
We could just pull the line right off the truck and charge it. It's already hooked up. The standpipe's already hooked up. The sprinkler's already hooked up. And the second engine's right down the street 2 minutes away, comes pulling right up. So yeah, luckily we never had a real big incident down there, but
Guys, I'm going to
I can
call it a night. Have a good one.
the worst one I ever had down there was Reba McEntire was on stage, and they dispatched us out for a propane leak at the Civic Center.
Oh,
And we're on the way, and I'm like, if I cannot be the guy on duty where Reba McEntire gets blown up. So anyway,
propane leaks what caused the Indianapolis Coliseum explosion
Yep.
back in
Yep.
the 60s.
Luckily for me, it was sewer gas. Have a good one, John.
The
All right, have a good night,
Yeah.
guys. I'm gonna call it. Does anybody else have anything?
Don't have a-
I'm really tired this week, guys.
Yeah,
I've got
me too.
I've got a 16 going on 17-year-old cat that I got to put down Monday,
Oh, wow.
and I'm just kind of, my heart's not in it. Yeah, it's been a long week, and we've been spending the last couple of days with him, and I put 2 cats down already this month. And it's weird because we went back and looked. We put 3 cats down last year, and they were all in September. So there's something weird about this month, and all my
September?
cats are now scared for next September.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, but yeah, we had one that got ate up by a dog in the neighborhood here, and we had to put him down because his back was broken. And I had another one we were trying to save that had been eaten by another dog in another neighborhood that had been brought to us to try to save, and we couldn't save her. We put her down. Unfortunately, lovable little cat. Had to put her down, and now this one's my going on 17-year-old cat that I've had for a very long time. His name is D. And he's a great cat, but he's going to be taking his journey on Monday, I think, because he stopped eating. He's done.
Hmm.
So you know how that is. They let you know when it's time.
Yeah.
And he also tried to tried to get out of the house. He ran out of the house, which is normally no big deal, but he goes right for the gate, right through the gate, and right down the road. And when cats do that, they're programmed to walk away from the home and go die somewhere else. That's what they're designed to do. That's what they're trained to do. I don't know how, but they know this. And so this cat started now wanting to get out so he can go walk away, basically. And so we know it's time. So Monday we're going to take care of that, and unfortunately,
Yeah.
I'm going to spend the next couple of days with him, and then I'm going to let him go.
Yeah.
I'm very close to my cats. It's very difficult for me.
Well,
So
cats and dogs are part of the family, so I know how that is.
yes, they are.
We've always had
And
dogs.
and the people that don't understand that have never had them, and they don't understand that, and it's a shame because they missed out on a very big part of this life, unfortunately. I think
Yeah.
the love and loss of our animals, I think, is part of the journey that we're supposed to be taking here.
Yeah.
I'm a reincarnation guy. I believe that we do these journeys, and it's a process, and our soul is learning, and I think that the more strife we have in this life, the better off we are later, and that the easy life doesn't necessarily advance your soul as much as a hard life would. And I think there's a lot to be said for that. And I think that's why some of these people that come here and they just have the worst luck ever, but they just seem wise beyond their years. Those are old souls. They're on their last couple journeys through, you know? I really understand this. I believe this stuff. I do. And every religion, if you dig deep enough, every single religion has these components in it. It's all part of the way it works. And I'm okay with that. So, I mean, I know I'll be able to touch his energy again. That's all I care about. And I'm an energy guy. I understand it's all energy, you know, it's all energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. And it's funny that science proves the afterlife, but it does. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Does anybody have anything else?
Can't think of anything.
Hasta la vista.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
All right.
See you tomorrow at the swap shop.
Yeah. And Steve, if you're
Yeah, I'm
really
gonna come
listening-
by. I need to hang out with my friends tomorrow.
Steve, if you're really listening,
Go ahead.
Kathy says, don't call until like 9:30, 10 o'clock tomorrow. I don't think he's listening.
I don't think he's listening.
I think he fell asleep with his phone still connected.
Must have.
It's funny, over the year we've been doing this, I've had a number of people fall asleep on the net. I had a couple I had to mute because the snoring was starting to come across. And I don't care. It's funny. I don't care, dude. It's late, whatever. It's Friday. I think it's
late.
funny.
Yeah, anyway, it's like. All right.
Yeah.
No, I'm here, Dallas. I'm awake.
Okay, well.
Oh, there he
okay,
is. There he is.
I finally got my sound to finally figured out how to get it to work.
There you go. Well, Kathy says, don't call until after like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Okay. Hey, I enjoyed the show today.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
On the
I hope you
drive,
come back.
on the
I hope
drive.
you. Oh, the drive show, the one I did earlier.
Yeah. I listen to you
Yeah.
every night.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's fun. Trey and I have a lot of fun in there. I got to tell you, and tonight was a little crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. I like I said, I drive from Pine Ridge all the way out here to Albemarle every night when my wife gets off work, and you come on right after Hannity. So
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
we got a
listened to
third
you.
hour now.
I know you took up one of my
Can't
Hannity
believe-
hours though.
I know.
But it's
Truth
okay, I
is,
still
that
got
was
one day
that
after you.
hour was delayed broadcast. That hour was delayed broadcast 2 hours anyway.
Yeah.
And I like Hannity. I actually had a chance to work with him. He's a great guy. He stayed down here for a while, and I produced him locally for his national show,
Yeah,
which
well,
was really cool because I got a chance to work with him day after day for a while. And you won't meet a nicer guy. He's
Well, he-
nicer off the air than he is on the air.
Yeah.
But
He owns
that
it.
being said,
he owns a house here in Naples somewhere.
Yep. Yeah, he does. And when he's staying down here, if everything's okay, he'll do the show from his house. That show's about half pre-recorded and half live, and he'll do it from his house, and he'll pre-record the whole thing up in the morning, about 2/3 of it up, except for the caller sections, and then he'll seed those in live, usually once an hour. It's very weird how he does his show. He doesn't do it like most of us do it. His whole shows, his production staff must just pull their hair out. I don't know, but
Oh yeah.
but
It sounds like
when
it
I
at
used
the
to
time.
produce him, he'd get there at 10 in the morning to start recording for his show, or sometimes he'd get there at noon. And I'm like, he's like, hey, we need to get there at noon. I'm like, okay, I'll be there, because I'm there anyway. And he'd show up, and I'd get him in the building, and we would, start setting it up and everything. And it was funny because, like, what are we recording at noon? And he's like, oh, I'm gonna do most of the show up, and then I'm gonna do the first hour live, and then I'm out. And that's the way they do it sometimes. I mean, it's you never know. Tonight, Trey's show, the last 45 minutes with Ford O'Connell, was recorded between 4:15 and 5 o'clock before the show.
Really?
That way I can be
Know
here.
that.
Yeah, that way I could be here for this.
Ah, you're telling secrets now.
Yeah.
It's all
Well,
paid-
it's it is what it is. I mean, is it? Yeah, it's a secret. It's not a big secret. I mean, we don't.
it doesn't.
It's the illusion of radio. It is what it is. That's what's neat about radio is you can BS a little more than you can on TV.
Yeah.
We do pre-record. You have no idea. He was in New York a couple days last week, and we did the first hour live from his hotel room, and the second 2 hours were canned.
Mm.
Yep.
Nobody knew the difference. So you just do, we just get it on the air as best we can, and most of the time the three of us are sitting there looking at each other through the glass and we're doing a regular show. So,
Yep.
and those always go the best for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's some yahoos
But,
that call in every once in a while, though, that I just don't know about them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
get some crazy